all so clear and coming back to me. If you only knew what I see in these vivid memories, say it isn't true. It's all so clear and coming back to me. If you only knew what I see in these vivid memories, say it isn't true. It's all so clear and coming back to me. Back to me. Coming back to me.
What's up, muckers? Welcome back to the Besides the Norm podcast. My name is Scuba, and we've got Craig on here. I'm just going to reset the fucking TV. Fantastic.
Good start.
Okay. One of the problems usually with the podcast, mainly with this computer, is that the monitor
is shit.
Is shit, and it keeps resetting or wanting to like shut down all the time. It's really quite fucking annoying. But anyway, welcome to the podcast, man. We've been off for a couple of weeks. 1 week.
Did we post up that Rocky Tirade?
We did. It's already posted up. I was going to talk about it in a wee while. First off, the track we just played, we have to explain this first before we go along. This is Tisoki. I hope I pronounced that right. Tisoki, the track called Memories featuring Megan Hamilton. This was a DJ WATGOOD remix. Kind of like trappy, dubstepy kind of stuff, like trap step. I'm sure that's probably a genre, trap step, I imagine.
Sounds like it could be a genre. Like,
defo, man. So what do you think of WATGOOD? Or the remix of this track?
I like the plop. I like the plop. Plop's dope. It's not really mark any music, to be honest.
What, dubstep?
Well,
or the trap kind of stuff?
Aye.
It's maybe a kind of like a pop song,
aye,
I would say, as well.
For what it's meant to be, though, it's pretty good, aye.
Aye. Fuck aye.
So I thought not personally into it, but I'm into it.
That's it. I was going to play it at the end, one, because usually when we finish the podcast, that's when we're like, alright, cool, we'll play a kind of energetic one, and then because we're finished, and then we're like, yes, kind of dance a wee bit dance about a wee bit, and then we're like,
Speak to
that
yourself.
was fucking brilliant, mate. That was fucking aye. Yes, like that.
Totally.
Then then the crowd starts getting involved and shit like that.
Aye, because I reckon if you can this, but we did this in front of a live studio audience. So
I'd love to try that one day. It'd be pretty cool. But
be awkward.
Aye.
Do you know what? Well, for me, especially me sitting with my back to them,
Well,
I could totally sit there. There's an air seat and an air mic, so I could totally do that. But
well, as we'll figure out later on, we kind of spoke roughly, well, kind of a wee bit about that with Spee. Aye, we spoke about kind of you doing comedy at one point.
Yeah.
A few good ideas we had with Spee. It was quite. I'll go. A wee
Is
bit
that
more,
in the podcast? Is that
Aye,
part
it's still
of
in.
the
It's still in.
skit,
Okay, aye, totally. I'll go a wee bit more in depth because there's a few things I need to explain before we actually play that later on. But that's cool, and I hope Spee's tuned in and TenchoO. I think. I don't know. He liked the post yesterday. I don't know. He's maybe got other things to do.
It's
I'd
totally,
imagine.
it's totally a. Oh, cool! I've been mentioned.
Aye, totally.
Then walk away.
So TenchoO's probably got other stuff to do. I know Spee's.
Although I reckon what's more important than listening to the Besides the Norm podcast.
Exactly,
Is that right,
exactly, man.
Is
Exactly.
that right? TenchoO should be like, yes.
Exactly,
I'm being
man.
played by fucking Monkey and Scoob. I've made it. Right?
Exactly. So TenchoO will probably have something better today, whereas Spee's life is quite boring. So he will have nothing else better to do but he'll be listening to this. So that's fantastic.
He's a chef. I'm surprised he's not working.
Well,
There's still hours in the day. Get back
that's
to
one of the
cooking.
problems. See with chef work,
That's ridiculous.
it's fucking. I worked.
Is he an actual chef?
I'm
Or is
assuming
it like
so.
sort
Aye.
of crazy
He
corner
works
cafe
in.
chef?
I think he works in a place in St Andrews. We probably should have. Actually, we were talking about
I
music.
care about. I want to
Aye.
care what his music's like. I don't care what he
But
does for a job.
I remember working at a place in Leaving.
Is that offensive to not care what he does for a job?
No, really, because you're interested in his music rather
Aye,
than
I'm
his
not
kind
interested
of
in
behind the
his
scenes
chef
shit.
work.
Do you know? I think there's. Sorry, I'm going to get you the story. I used to work in a place in Leaving Golfing Society. I'll just fucking name it. Fuck it. Who cares?
They were shite.
They were shite. They can't cook.
You're the chef. Just the kind of cook.
Shh. So I was doing it. Like, we weren't making like proper like fucking posh meals and stuff like that, but we were making like real simple shit. Like I would go in the morning from 8 to I think it was about 11 or something like that. Would be day breakfasts. Like real simple stuff. The golfers would come in before they went out to play golf.
Because that's what you need before a long
Totally.
game of golf is a big piece
Well,
of fried
I think
breakfast.
most folk were actually had their thinking caps on. It was usually just rolls a lot of the time.
Right.
But there'd be some fat people that would come in for breakfast.
Just do a like local.
I've not got to my point yet. You keep fucking butting in. Fine.
Sorry, man. This question is not going to make sense if you keep carrying on with your point.
Just go.
Just for quick local curiosity's sake, how did you get down to Leaving on a Saturday for 8 a.m? Is there even a Leaving bus at that point?
Aye. There's buses at like 7 o'clock and
Because
stuff.
I mind trying to get down to my work at 9 o'clock in the morning and Leaving was a pain in the fucking arsehole.
Aye.
Because there wasn't I had to be there like super early or be there late.
Right.
There was no sort of...
This was back in the day when buses actually run properly.
Right.
It was like one every hour. In fact, there was 2 every hour. So it was quite easy to actually get done. Even on a Saturday, there was 2 every hour.
No.
On a Sundays, like, it's fucking every 2 hours you get a bus.
For those not as local, Kennedy's shit.
Aye, basically.
And basically any time after about 6 p.m. you can't go out of Kennedy.
Aye, totally.
It's like genuinely, like, I'm not even lying, it's like
It's
genuinely
fucking
like
terrible.
shit.
But to get back to my point, the chef work, you're starting for early in the morning and you're there till late, till like 10, 11 o'clock sometimes and stuff like that. We stopped serving meals at 10:30, so that we had the half an hour to fucking get tidied and get the fuck away for 11 o'clock. And the last bus was, I think, 11:20. So sometimes, like, if somebody had ordered the meals, because somebody could order a meal at 10:25, and we can't refuse them because we did say that the place shuts at 10:30. We stopped serving meals at 10:30. So if somebody orders, we have to fucking follow that through. So I missed my bus a couple of, like, 1 or 2 times. So I was able to get a run up, so I wasn't stranded or fuck all like that. But the idea is
an hour, half an hour to clean after fucking...
basically, well, because you're clearing all during the day anyway as you go along. That's
I suppose it's
part
not
of what you're doing.
the chef's not just like, I'm finished with that pot, puts it in the washing and then...
I'm not like in here
right.
when I'm fucking, you chop a bunch of onions and then you fucking leave it to the side. Then you get the meal done. Like when you're
then
chef,
you eat
you're
and then
doing
you go
it.
upstairs and you watch some shit on YouTube.
Totally. Aye.
Can't do that when you're working.
That's it, exactly, man. But it's a lot of work. But my boss was in every single fucking day for 8 till 10 at night.
So he was the real chef. He was the
real chef, and I was the second guy.
chef.
And sometimes it would take an air guy in as well.
So you're the sort of the one that put soup in the microwave.
I cut the tortillas, the onions, and shit like that, and then fucking dressed up plates, cooked the fish, cooked the steaks. Real basic stuff.
I've had steak cooked by you. You did not cook the steak.
The steaks were actually cooked on big hot plates.
Right, so you
And
never
like
cooked
properly.
the steaks.
Well, I did cook the steaks.
Then why did you not do it on wee plates?
I reckon.
A frying pan's just a wee hot plate, innit?
I reckon. I'm maybe just shit, Craig. That could well be the idea behind that. That could well just be shite. Just the way it goes, unfortunately.
So Spee, I didn't care about what Spee does for a living.
Ah,
I'm sort of just like, aye,
that's fair.
I like
that's fair.
Spee's music.
I feel like we should explain why we've been off.
Aye, that should have been the first thing we mentioned.
Absolutely. As usual, getting involved in
Aye.
talking shit.
We've had PC issues, haven't we? Kinda.
Yes. I decided that I would kind of... So I'm taking all blame for this. I
good. I was not going to do it.
I was not going to do it at all. I decided that the PC was getting clogged up for shit. So I was like, what I'll do is I'll start with factory settings again. I'll reinstall Windows 7. And for some reason, the updates... Can you get the like Windows updates and stuff like that? They were not installing, so there was loads of things not working on the computer. And then it was having fucking issues with starting up and stuff like that because the updates weren't there.
It was a corrupted install. You done.
Aye, basically.
Was it for a disk?
Aye, but I'd done it twice and it's still done the same thing.
But was it for a disk?
It was for a disk, aye.
So the disk was corrupted in some way?
Maybe.
Yes, that's what the issue is. If it happened every single time you used that disk.
But it's no me that's just had that problem. There's fucking tons of people had that problem. So just one of the things anyway.
We used to use that disk all the time. I do
I
understand.
know. I didn't understand why. Because you went fucking mental at me for fucking it all up, and I was like, I didn't. Usually when I do a install from scratch,
Aye.
I never have a problem
Nah.
because it betters the computer, makes it all work.
But that's the
fucking
only reason
smoothly.
we had bad news one week, and it was like on the Thursday afternoon. We're like, oh fuck, but I didn't feel like fucking.
Aye.
It had just been a long fucking day, and we're like, no, not talking about shite fucking politics stuff.
That was a terrible because we had bad news and then we had bad news right after it, and then we were like, fuck this, fuck the podcast.
Aye, fuck fuck life,
fuck all the viewers. Totally, we just decided we're not doing it that day, and then the following week, we had an argument.
Aye.
How long beforehand? About maybe 20 minutes
20
beforehand.
minutes beforehand.
We had a wee bit of an argument.
Like, fuck it, fuck off, cunt.
From Craig. Craig
Aye,
basically
that
told
was
me
me.
to fuck off because I was being irritating. And a dick, I will openly admit I was being a dick. Sometimes I get in a wee bit of a dicky attitude.
And it was funny because I was so stubborn. I was like, we need to do the podcast and just get it. But I was like, but I'm no fucking going through and saying, oh, let's just do the podcast because then I'll look like a bitch and fucking fuck him. No, fuck him. I'm fucking doing it. Stubborn. It's just metal brain.
Aye.
Just refusing to let anything go. Just
That's it.
fuck you.
That's it. So after the 2 weeks of the off a break, we then decided just a few days ago. Well, I decided and then asked you what you thought of the idea.
And I agreed.
Mm-hmm. We've been tied down for ages. We're doing tied down by ourselves because we decided we were going to do the every week we would do 2 podcasts. We'd do the live version with every guest podcast. We were having problems getting guests. It was really fucking annoying. We had guests lined up, and then
by the way, isn't it our fault?
No.
Like, it wasn't that we weren't looking for guests. We had guests planned for every single week, and we were continuing to email people, and people were getting back saying, "Aye, that sounds good," and then not fucking showing up, or cancelling the day before, or
on the day,
or
an hour beforehand, like
on our counsellors just busy urgent meetings and shit.
That was annoying because the counsellor guy had arranged the meeting and stuff. We had fucking spoken on the phone and everything like that, ready for him to come. And then we put on the fucking Facebook that it was happening, and a few people were kind of looking forward to it happening.
He was meant to be here at 10, and at 8:30, it was like, oh, there's been an urgent meeting. Really? How fucking urgent?
It's mad. People died. It's just really fucking irritating that happened.
Then the Tory, nah.
He just decided no.
Kim, what's annoyed me about the Tory,
And then he fucking
actually?
lied about his reasoning as well,
Aye.
which I hate. I hate
What
that.
annoyed me about the Tory is that this guy standing as a councillor in our ward, which is Kenny leaving in Largo, admittedly not like glamorous politics work,
No.
right? But you're going in a public position of power, like you need to be. You can't just half-arse it just because it's Kenny and leaving. Doesn't really matter. You still need to do your fucking job. And this guy couldn't come on the podcast for an hour because he's at university.
Aye.
But he'll stand and be a counsellor. Like, no, you're not going to be able to do. Like, we spoke to when Jane Ann Liston and Lauren Jones were in. They were talking about being a counsellor and how it's not. Like, it's meant to be a part-time job, but it's not a fucking part-time. It's a full-time thing.
Oh, yeah,
You're
you're all the
constantly
time
working.
doing stuff.
Kind
Aye.
of that when you're at university. If you're so busy that you can't come on a podcast for an hour, you don't have time to be a counsellor.
Aye.
So I don't see why he's even bothered to stand, unless it's because it's a rural area. It's sort of, we're surrounded by mining towns, and most
Well, the
people
problem
aren't
is
going
that
to be voting Tory.
he's a councillor that's for this rural area. So the fact that it's a rural area that he wasn't bothered about.
I'm saying that he's maybe accepted that he's a Tory in this kind of area
And
where
just-
most people aren't going to be voting Tory anyway.
Aye.
It'll be SNP or Labour. Like, it's not even
That's it.
maybe Liberal Democrat, but unlikely. It's
That's
going
it.
to be SNP or Labour.
I think one of the big things is like I give usually guests about 3 chances to get in touch. I'll get in touch with them. We'll arrange a date. If we can't make it, fair enough. If it didn't give me a reason, or at least just warn me in advance that they can't come, so I could arrange someone else, or not arrange someone else, I just didn't bother getting in contact with them again.
Aye.
I'll do it like 3 times. That's it. I'll chase after them 3 times.
Like,
But ever again, nah, never again.
I've got the guy that no cancelled, but the guy that cancelled beforehand.
Aye.
He's got an air chance. I say this like it's a bit, it's a waste of time for us if we keep going after these people just because we want them on the podcast. We need to accept at one point that they're not coming on. There's no point in us
That's it.
going for this anyway.
Exactly.
It's not us trying to be arrogant. It's being realistic. So one more chance with them, where I will go back and I'll say, look, any updates on whether you're going to be able to come? Because I actually do want to cover this election because it's quite cool. We've never covered anything like that. SNP, Greens, Liberal Democrats, so I've got an air shot. I'm going to email them all again, maybe phone them if I get phone numbers or whatever. But then after that, if they didn't reply after that, then we're not going to be covering it, basically, is essentially what happens, which is unfortunate because I need to vote in here, and if I'm not going to get to hear what any of they're going to be saying, they're not going to be at hustings.
No really.
So it's just, and considering there's no information about any of these candidates on any of the
Could you
party
explain?
pages.
You went to some of the websites and there wasn't even details to contact them or anything like that.
Went to the Liberal Democrats. They've got a couple of local websites. One for Dunfermline because that's Willie Rennie's thing, and then Liberal Democrats in West Fife or something. So that was the closest we can get to here is West Fife, I think, or Dunfermline. And nothing about his candidacy. He didn't have like a Facebook page like, oh, it's me for this area.
No. Even you didn't even need to update the fucking Facebook page. You could just have a page.
Just have a page with contact details in it.
Aye.
So all you need is contact details, an email address, a phone number. Like you've got their house addresses on the Fife Council PDF file that shows who's standing. I'm not going to do a fucking house address. Drive up to their house.
Just find out.
Like, do you want to come on a podcast? That looks weird. That's weird as fuck.
That's fucked up.
I said that to Kay when she was like, that's my actual house address. I'm like, why? Like, that's the fucking. If somebody's going to drive to your house for that, I'd much rather just get a phone call.
Aye, fuck aye.
If you've got a problem, phone me.
Definitely,
like,
man.
Didn't come to my house. I didn't want you at my house.
Don't come in the house, man. Don't come in my house.
Aye,
That's disgusting.
Aye, but it's very simple. If you're trying to be a counsellor, have a fucking online presence of some sort. If you're trying to engage the young people, have an online presence. Going about doors doesn't work as well as you think it does.
Aye.
Although saying that, maybe I'm wrong because in council elections it's old folk voting.
Aye.
When was do you care anybody that's ever voted in a council election?
Nah.
No.
I literally don't care anybody. I've never heard anybody
No.
doing it.
It's so low amounts.
I thought all that was done internally. I thought the council handled that kind of stuff. Like, they arranged different councillors. I thought that was all done with them. But as just to get to your point, that was a crazy fucking... you went totally off the subject of what
was the
talking about.
subject?
The subject was the change of the podcast.
Oh, aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we've changed.
So what we decided today was one podcast a week, which is the live version. We'll still probably do interviews during the week and stuff. They won't be live, but they'll be saved for the kind of live podcast on every Thursday. So this is the main thing we'll catch every week. It'll be one podcast every week. Because I felt like we were kind of inundating people with loads of stuff because we're doing the challenges and kind of food reviews and stuff like that. And sometimes we'd do a comedy review. That would be fucking up. So like we could hear a week of like 6 different things that we're expecting people to check constantly. Mm-hmm. So I think if I have one podcast, one video a week, perfect.
And it was, on top of that, it was ridiculous workload for us.
Oh yeah. And for someone that we're not getting
paid for. Like, this isn't our full time thing. We didn't make a living for this. Although some people have assumed we do, and we've never corrected them. No. Just because we were like, well, if somebody thinks we're able to make a living for this, then that's success of some sort. So we'll just go along with that. But we didn't make a living for this.
So this is the new format now. Basically, is we're going to be doing typically what we do on the live podcast all the time. We'll kind of have a chat for the first half an hour, and then do news in the second section. We'll try and cram as many guests in we can as every time. It may be past guests, maybe new people. I'll tell you after this because I didn't want to kind of ruin names and shit like what usually happens. But I had a couple of people interested in coming on. So it's just going to be that, and then we'll have like kind of pre-recorded stuff that we'll put on. Could be like live music sessions, anything like that ever happens. So it's just going to be like a full kind of fucking bumper pack of podcast all the time.
We're still hoping to do more things with Sean, though, aren't we?
I think so. I
still really want to be doing more of them. I've got a couple of folk lined up for it. Mm-hmm. But a couple of folk that I want to ask.
Right.
But they stay a bit further away, so I reckon if they're going to be interested.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll have to kind of organise with Sean first. Sean picks a day, and then we can get somebody.
The videos are going to be very different, very less. Name your food reviews because it was pointless.
Aye.
That was just a way. That was my idea in order to have consistent content all the time. I thought consistency worked, but it doesn't. No. So, especially for us, because it's an earth thing that you need to do every single week. You need to have someone ready. Mm-hmm. And challenge videos is thinking of a different challenge, and then you just copying everybody else, and it's just
the consistency thing works in the sense that if you're actually already getting YouTube success, then people are interested in seeing more all the time. So that's how the continuity and the kind of extra content and everything works. But
expecting people that didn't give a fuck to be there every Sunday.
Because we're at the point now where we're having to ask people to check your stuff. We've not just got subscribers coming in and they're sharing everything for us. We're actively trying to get fucking people to listen. So and this is going to be the podcast we're on live. We'll hear like interviews and stuff like that added in. It'll be a longer show. So the day we've got 4 tracks instead of 3. We've got like a full fucking 1 hour interview with Spee. We're going to fuck off and get drunk. Well, that's playing out for everybody. It's going to be good. Interesting. So that's exactly 25 past, so we could go on with the next track.
Cool.
And we'll do some news.
We've got loads of news, so that could take an hour.
Actually, what we could do is, I love how we're just setting up the podcast as we go along. What we'll do is, we'll play this track for November Lights. We'll come back. We'll introduce the Spee interview. We'll play that, and then we'll get done what we're going to do, and then we'll do the news after the Spee interview.
Right, and then end the podcast. Hey, Bob.
There you go. We've set up the podcast. During the podcast, some behind the scenes shit.
Because we had planned guests to come as well.
Aye, so that's annoying as well. That's 3 guests back to it. So I thought I'm just going to ask like fucking 10 people every week to come at the one time and then see how it goes.
3 or 4 isn't enough.
Nah. I thought asking 3 because I asked we did get 1, but he's not here. But we're playing his thing. Spee.
Spee, yeah.
So we're going to get into this tune. This is a track called A.U.X. by November Lights. Enjoy. Right, welcome back. That was November Lights with the track called A.U.X. Fact, I love November Lights. We played them before a while ago.
Totally. I
Fucking
remember
excellent,
that.
man. Excellent stuff.
So we played music a bit earlier there, didn't we? We had stuff we wanted to talk about. That
Aye, totally.
as the news.
Aye, totally. We just today watched the new Billy Connolly DVD.
You've watched it before.
I've seen it
It's
already,
the first time
but
I've watched it.
I've seen it already, and I've sort of convinced Craig to watch it this time.
Didn't
And
it much convincing? In
No,
fairness?
really, no,
Billy
really.
Connolly.
But Billy Connolly fucking
Wow.
absolutely killed it, man.
Amazing man.
Unbelievable. Did you say amazing?
Amazing man.
Right. But aye, absolutely brilliant. The Parkinson's hasn't slowed him. Technically, it has slowed him down. But in a kind of quick comedy sense, he's not been slowed down. He's still fucking really
Oh,
funny.
he's still quick with it, like.
There's just loads of, like, when he actually talks about what he's got and stuff like that, it was pretty
Aye.
brutal about that kind of
Aye,
shit.
that he was talking about it, so I'm glad you find Parkinson's funny. You're going to love the cancer.
Fucking great, man. So that would just be a side. Billy Connolly's DVD. Get it, man, if you can.
Oh, definitely get it.
It's called High Horse, I think it's
There
called.
was a
Billy
few
Connolly.
bits I remembered from that I done on Live in New York that I used to watch when I was at high school.
aye.
It used to be my thing that I'd go to bed and I'd have my Shy TV DVD player next to me. And the only DVD I had...
Your wee portable fucking player.
Aye.
Dope, man.
The only DVDs I had was Firehead. Some others do have them. Fucking Hot Fuzz or Billy Connolly Live in New York. And
Awesome.
after a while, all I was watching was Billy Connolly because the rest of them I'd watched so many times it was boring. Whereas comedy never really gets boring.
Well, it does if you've fucking seen it multiple times.
Nah, can't mind it ever get boring. Like.
I've seen Billy Connolly twice now. I could watch that again.
I could probably watch that again.
No. Well, you will be able to do it because I've done it already. Really funny. Really
I remember
fucking enjoyed
one time where I only had Hot Fuzz. And that was all because you're like me. You need to watch something when you're in your bed.
Aye,
you can't just go to sleep.
I know.
So I was stuck for weeks, just needing to watch Hot Fuzz every single night. It was like torture. I hated going to my bed. I had to watch this fucking pish. I'd never watch it again. I hate it now.
Christ.
Bye.
There you go.
Totally doesn't even matter. Spee now.
That's it. Well, there you go. I just wanted to shout out to Yvonne Duncan for tuning in. Good stuff, guys. I don't know if she's talking about Break the Embargo or us, but I'll take it. I'll just say it as us. Aye. Thanks, Yvonne. Thanks very much for tuning in. Tell your pals, share the fucking post. Thank you. We're going to get into...
Swear to their fucking fans.
Ah, no, it's terrible. Fucking, you just swear. You swore to them, I suppose.
No, I swore referencing you being a cunt to their fans.
Fucking hell, just... Aye. Anyway, so we're going to get into this. This is an hour-long, epic fucking interview, so let's get this checked out. First of all, before we get into it, we have to explain. We started recording...
Did we not explain this on the podcast, on the interview?
We'll do a wee bit. Fuck it, we'll just get into it. You ready? Ready to play this?
I'm ready to play this, yes.
Excellent,
yes,
fantastic.
I did nothing.
So this is an interview with Spee Sixnine we done today. I think it was about 1 o'clock, something like that.
It was most days at 1 o'clock. It was meant to be at 12, but we lost that.
There you go. We're going to try and get him in, but his wife's away and he's in with the bairn and stuff like that, so they couldn't get out. So we done a wee Skype interview. Enjoy. So hello Spee, we're back again. Wow, we just recorded a 50-minute fucking bumper interview there, and we lost the whole... We've got the last 11 minutes, which we'll add into the end of this.
I know, we spoke about so much stuff in that. That's like the lost tapes. All those people we bad-mouthed.
And it was so funny all the way through as well. So much comedy.
Probably the best,
hilarity.
Probably the best interview in the world. And
it was, wasn't it, quite frankly?
Lost. Oh,
fucking ridiculous. It's really quite annoying. But
I'll be honest, right? What? I'm a wee bit glad that it fucked up, because I told Stephen about this earlier. When you and Stephen were speaking, I tried to take a quiet drink of water and dropped about a quarter of the bottle of water all over me. So while you're speaking, I'm trying not to laugh and try to dry myself off and hope that you never heard a splash of a quarter bottle of water just falling everywhere.
Well, amazing we missed that.
It's annoying because as we go through this now, I'm just going to be thinking about you having wet boobs.
Wet tits are the sexiest tits.
No,
the problem with that now is, that's it. We go into a dark place, and that's all I'm going to think about now.
I didn't blame these. They are majestic tits.
Majestic.
Yeah, and I'm just in my underwear. So,
am I the only person that's fucking decent here? Jesus Christ!
I don't know about decent.
Well, we could say that at least. So what we'll do is we'll try and talk a wee bit about some of Spee's music. If we start talking about how you first got into music, man.
The short version.
The short version this time, if possible.
This time. I rambled on for about 40 minutes last time. Well, I got into music, I was a young boy, and my mum, she bought an NWA tape for my brother. I was about 9 years old, I think, and we used to... At 9
years old, were you a fuck the police guy, or were you an express yourself guy? What?
I didn't really. I just knew I liked it. I didn't know what it was, and this is something strange as well that I should have said to you before. My mum used to, the back of magazines, you could join those clubs where you bought tapes off them and stuff. I don't know if anyone remembers that. You buy so many tapes a month, and get music. Anyway, she done it that way. See, so she got it for my brother. She didn't know what it was, so my mum didn't know. Any of the content and things. And when we first, when she was first getting us tapes like that, we got the Friday soundtrack, Bone Thugs and Harmony. There was no parental advisory stickers on that never came into effect for a few years. So,
right.
So I don't think she actually knew the content of what she was letting herself into by, letting these young boys listen to this hardcore gangster rap music.
That's amazing. So by pure and utter chance.
My mum's a bit simple, so
same here. We've got a simple mum as well. It's fantastic.
Pretty simple mum.
You get a good laugh out of it. That's what I enjoy the most.
That's it. We were trying to get my mum on a podcast, but she's not too interested. But I think she'd be fucking hilarious.
She's been on videos, though. She's been on
videos as well.
I think I've seen her in one of your challenge ones. Yeah, I think so.
We're fucking. I slapped Craig with a fish in one of the videos. And my mum is actually interested in getting slapped with a fish. So I cannot wait to do
But
that,
she's
man.
got OCD. This is the problem. She's got OCD, so she wants it washed and dried so that it doesn't smell and it's not slimy.
You'd also have to hit her on both sides of her face. Because
Well,
that's somewhat of OCD as well, isn't it? She's going to be like, I can't, well, you've only slapped me on the left. You need to hit me on the right.
There's maybe like a kind of 3-time action we need to go through as well.
Surprisingly brutal being hit by a fish, by the way. It's like a headbutt. It's genuinely like...
I can imagine.
Well, see, I actually hit you with the head. What I was planning on doing with Mum was like slapping the fish and letting it go round the back of your head. It's like a proper good...
Oh, right. It was a punch. Like, it felt like a punch.
Well, I don't know. I feel the scud as it hit you in the head. It was great, man.
It was great.
Anyway, so musically, you kind of moved on. You were working a lot in York, and then you moved up here.
Long story. I've been in music for years and years. Down south, moved to Scotland. Met Respect BA on Blade's tour a few times. Did a few shows, and he told me to. He was living down south at the time. I said I'm moving to Scotland, and he was like, "Oh, hit up my friend Taj." So it was back in the MySpace days. So I hit up Big Taj. Told him I was, and he was a sound dude, and he's like, oh, if ever it shows, come through. And just by chance, the reason I was in Glasgow at the time, Boomstick, he's originally from Inverness, but then was brought up in Aberdeen, so he's Scottish, but he was brought up in Middlesbrough, hence the accent. So he moved back to Scotland, so he was living in Glasgow, and Boomstick and DJ Versatile, who does the cuts on the TenchoO track and loads of other stuff. He's from Middlesbrough as well, so it's quite it's such a small place. Everybody knows everyone. So I was through there to see Boom and stuff and working, and I bumped into Taj in the street, recognised him from his picture on MySpace, and we just got a quick chat, and then I went through to see him at a show, and then we became cool and started working together musically. So yeah, that's the shorter version of how I ended up working with Taj and being up here doing what we're doing.
Well, that's it. And soon, sort of after that, you released TWOC, which was a kind of Taken Without Consent, which was a kind of I don't know how many people have heard this, like that are listening, but it was kind of a lot of kind of. You want to explain it to people?
It was a collaboration. It was my mixtape, but it was a collaboration of people from my area. We just banded together. We were staying in an old student. Not staying there. There was an old student house, and all the students were back home, so there was loads of rooms spare. Nick, who did the mixing and mastering on it and recorded us all, he was still staying there in one of the rooms. So we just went around to this sort of like grotty student digs and just told people we're going to be in this house for the next 3 days. We're recording this. Turn up if you've got bars, So all the features on there and stuff of people we knew who just showed up, just came around to get high, party with us, get drunk and record music. So it was a really good sort of time, and it was, we did a whole mixtape in 3 days pretty much, save for one of the tracks, which was the Little Bit of Soul track, which I'd already recorded. Yeah. 2 years previously to that. Yes, it was good. TWOC came from my old area. It's called Tang Hall. Sorry, we don't say our H's in Yorkshire. And a lot of the kid, you call them the young teams up here. We just call them chavs. A lot of the like sort of chavvy kids on my estate used to spray paint the walls, and they called themselves the Tangol TWOC crew, which was basically taking without consent, which is stealing cars, mopeds, things like that. Yeah. So I kept the idea of TWOCing things like stealing beats, so other people's beats. I know it's a concept that gets done on mixtapes, and we use these beats, but that was the reason it was called TWOC, is we took everything on there without consent, except for the format track, which he's on the start of that track. We recorded him down the phone because I wanted people to know that he'd actually let me use that track. He'd not, I'd spoken to him on the phone a lot, and he'd let me use it. So,
what was that track you recorded at Elmwood College?
Elmwood College. Oh, fucking hell!
Do you remember that one?
Which? Oh, Was it bars or was it an actual track?
It was a music video you done. I could never find it.
I did something about recycling up there. That's not that's not it though, is it?
Shit. God, man.
I don't actually know, you know.
I remember seeing it. It was like I think it was a year later because I was at Elmwood College for doing cooking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, was Spee there at the fucking same time as me? But I don't know, man. But you don't remember the tune, really? So
I don't know. You know what happened? This is somewhat strange. It's probably happened to the best of us, but a fair few years ago, I never backed anything up, except for beats. I used to post beats to myself, stupidly, thinking I was amazing at music. I didn't want to get copyright, stolen. So
I remember that went about for a while. If you post all the stuff to yourself, you've got a kind of copy sitting. Aye.
Mate, I've still got envelopes with CDs in my room and stuff. It's crazy.
You got lyrics and stuff like that as well. Did you do that?
I never posted them. They're just all in. I've got. God,
right.
I wish you could see it. It's insane the amount of books and bits of paper and stuff. It's stupid. But yeah, I used to. I'd be careful backing beats up, but see on the computer, I didn't do fuck all. On my computer fried one day and I lost everything. I did a video to Diagnosis Murder. That was the only existing copy on the hard drive, and it all broke. Everything. So I lost. I think I lost like 10 gigabytes worth of samples or more, loads of instrumentals, loads of tracks I'd recorded over the years. There's a couple, those early tracks that people do that are fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
I've got tons of them. I've got loads of those. Were on there and I've lost them. Right, I've not heard them for years. Back from 2001, 2002. Things like that, just terrible tracks, but I thought I want them for nostalgia. And there's one guy in Yorkshire called Double Deuce who I do stuff with. He's a rapper as well, and he's got nearly all of that stuff on his computer, but he won't give me it. And he's holding it for ransom because he's like, Spee, if you ever blow up and do really well, that shit's coming out. He's gonna air it all and that. He's like, which is that. But luckily for me, when he was 14 at school, he gave out a free CD, and I managed to get a copy of it. And he gave a free condom in the CD for it because he said it was like music to fuck to and stuff. It's fucking
that's magic.
It's bad, but so I've still got that CD of him. So I'm like, challenge me. He could lay your cards on the table, son, and I'll trump you with that CD. So we've got ammo in each other. So
I remember somebody gave me a CD in Edinburgh, and it had a bit green in it as well.
Oh, nice!
I was like, I don't know how many CDs he had, but fucking hell, that's crazy just to do that, man.
You got to do that shit now. Action Bronson, man, he's I'm inspired by him a lot just because I love his way of thinking, and he does that. There's a thing on YouTube is something like top 10 things he's done, and he's at a gig just throwing weed out in the crowd. There's one, it's like before Christmas, he comes out with an Xbox and a flat screen telly and just chucks him into the crowd and gives them, I love that shit, man. It gets you talking.
Mark Lethal bought everybody at one of his gigs pizza.
I was just going to say that.
Bunch of pizzas.
Yeah, but you know what? This is something it's cool in music. That's what gets you talking. If you go to a gig, right, and you're like, I went to a show last night. Can't remember much of it. I got drunk. It was all right. I just heard people on a microphone. That was it. You go home and that's it. But if you went to a show and some dude's giving out free slices of pizza, you'll tell people about that. That's your memory. What happened last night? The show, it was fucking crazy. This guy came out and gave us all slices of pizza and beers for free. And then you tell people, so and so's playing in my city, and you're going to be like, you should definitely go see him because last time I was there, I got a free bag of weed off him, and so it's good promotion. it's a smart thing to do.
Definitely, it's always smart to have that kind of wee bit extra. I remember a gig in Edinburgh. I think it was the Beat Club when it was still open in Glasgow. There was, I think, we had some of the BTN performing, Chad the Lad and Kane and Kev.
Yeah,
there was a good few others, man. But the only bit I fucking remember for that night is Scribble coming out dressed as like a kind of 50s gangster.
Nice.
A 50s American mafia gangster with like a wee toy Tommy gun. And it was that's the only bit I remember for that thing. It wasn't even that kind of entertaining either, but it was still just a piece I remember.
Well, something like, I tell people this story a lot, actually. I just remember BJ Damaged Goods. I was seeing him live in Glasgow a fair few years back, and halfway through his set, he dropped the microphone or threw it on the floor or something and stormed off, and the beat was still playing, you know. So we're thinking like, what the fuck? He's having a Divas drop or something on stage, but he'd gone to the side of the stage where no one could see him, and he fully stripped off and ran back out in just that green, you know, that Borat mankini, and done the rest. I shit you not, and done the rest of his set in just that, right? And it. Not only was his set like phenomenal, it was just like really, you know, it was a lot of energy, and you know, Damaged Goods yourself, man, he's a brilliant artist. But to this day, that is, you know, what do you remember from shows? You know what? You know, if someone said to me, "Is Damaged Goods worth seeing live?" Hell yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't know what's coming next. You know, because that was years ago. So what's he up to now? Like, what's he coming out? You know, I want to see. He's bringing magic to the stage. So
full frontal nudity now, man.
There's something else live I seen, which was it was just a small thing, but it was really smart. It was Loki, and he'd recorded himself on the track beforehand, like a bit of the track. So, but it was just like a one take. So it looked like, so he come out and he was rapping, and you thought he was rapping, and then he moves the mic away from his mouth, and he's still rapping. Do you know? And because obviously it's the recording and he's miming it, but then he actually raps after it. It was something like that, and it was just really, at the time, like, who thinks like that? Do you know what I mean?
Pretty cool,
who thinks to do that? So I was really impressed with that, and I like that little elements at a live show make you want to go back, make you want to come back for more. So
that's
good shit.
Do you feel that you and Taj have got that kind of, because obviously you have a different set to a lot of people, you're able to vibe with the beatboxing, so you're able to give people that sort of experience? Sometimes
now, you know, when we started out, it was difficult. It was like two separate shows happening at the same time. So I'd do 5 minutes of a track, and then it'd be Taj, and I'd just walk to the back of the stage. So it was like two acts playing at the same time, but there was no synergy. And it took us a while. You know, we watched back videos of ourselves playing, or after we'd sit in his car after a show, and we'd be like, we shouldn't have done that, or we should do this, or, you know, and it organically grew into the set we do now. We've basically, the set we've got now changes, but we'll take a song out and put a new one in that's place, or, you know, or we take the start bit, or I'll have an idea, or he will, and we'll be like, we're going to do this after that song, you know, and we change it that way. So we've got a structure of a set, you know, whereas before, when you're building it from, you know, the foundation, it's difficult, but we've already got the foundation of our, you know, if we know we're doing a half-hour set or a 45-minute or an hour, we've already got those sets prepared, and we adapt them. So they're different every time, but it's not an entire new set, if that makes sense. You know, there's no point. You know, certain people they'll play in one city. You know, they'll play in Glasgow, for instance, on the Saturday night, and they'll do a set, and then they're playing in Edinburgh the night later or 2 nights later, and they do a completely different set. And I'm just like, dude, nobody's at the same show. You know, do the same set. No, you know, people have this misconception that they think like, no, you should do it different. But if you go and watch somebody tour, somebody massive, you know, they're doing the same set in every city, you know, because they've refined it and worked on it. So yeah, we got like a good synergy now, and we're smarter on stage now about things. If there's somebody there heckling, or if so, you know, we know how to deal with it now. Whereas we don't let things piss us off. There's a guy, Taj was beatboxing in Glasgow once, and a guy was pretending to try and punch Taj every time he turned away, with his mates laughing.
Right.
You know, and the old me would have just jumped in and you know, attacked this guy or done so, but I used the crowd to my advantage, and I was smart, you know, and I told everybody, I can't remember what I said, but I made everybody, you know, and they were all booing this guy and stuff, and it was really cool, you know. And one guy was sort of like shouting over the top of Taj while Taj was beatboxing at the front, and the guy had a bald head, so Taj went over to him and scratched the top of his head, you know, just funny, and everybody in the crowd laughed at this guy, you know, and made him feel like an idiot. So we've got these kind of, you know, we've learned well how to deal with stuff. A bit of advice I'd give to anybody who wants to perform live is practice live, you know. There's nothing worse, and it happens a lot, and I used to do it a lot years ago, but I go and watch acts live now, and you know, they leave the drink on the the decks and they turn around, while they're still rapping to get the juice, or I don't want to watch somebody's back. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to be entertained. Move to the front, engage with the audience, and just because if there's two of you and one guy's doing the rapping or whatever he's doing, the other guy should be engaged, close to the front. When he starts turning around, chatting to his mate at the back of the stage, it's it gives it that element of unprofessionalness, and same as when people get absolutely wasted before they go on as well. I love that. It's nothing better than somebody getting shit-faced and going on to do a set and making a fool of themselves.
I just remember, remember the gig in Kirkcaldy that was with the Andy Cooper from Ugly Duckling?
Aye, yeah.
That was, obviously it was like in a really intimate room, but right at the beginning I was like, right, Kieran, there's like fucking 7 people here. That this isn't going to get any better than this. But eventually, you've got a good grasp of crowd control. You really kind of knew what you're doing. So there was a few people in. Then it started to get a bit mental. There was like a wedding on in the function room in the back.
Aye.
And they'd heard hip hop music for some reason had come from this room, and they were like, "What the fuck is this? Hip hop music in Kirkcaldy? Shut up!" So they came to check it. And there was about 15 to 20 people paid in to come in and fucked off whoever's wedding party that was to come in and watch Spee. And was it Thomas? Is it Thomas his name is?
Tommy, Red King.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Right. And Spee got everybody sitting on the ground. And it was like a story time fucking feeling that was going through.
It was
everybody,
good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Everybody sitting on the floor, just listening to Spee going through his set. That was...
I sat
cool.
on the floor as well, man. At part
exactly.
Of that as well. I thought, fuck it, let's sit on the floor if that's what people want to do. Let's do it. Let's go with the floor.
That was cool, man. Just like and it was quite a hectic track you were doing. I can't remember what it was, but it was like a quite a hectic track. Nobody moving, just all sitting on the floor.
Yeah, there's a song I did that night called "You Can't Fuck With This" as well, where everyone chants back, and we did that in York. It was fucking phenomenal. That's coming. That's going to be on Versus 3, me and Tadji's last sort of collaboration EP in that series, which we're kind of about halfway through working on. But yeah, that track's finished, and it's called "You Can't Fuck With This," and it's basically just about how good I am. I'm not gonna lie. That's what the track's about. I've got songs, deep songs, political songs about our family, songs about peace, love, songs about partying, and then I've got songs about just like I'm better than you. What are you gonna do about it?
Classic hip hop, isn't it? It's
bravado. Yeah, you've got to be like that, and that partly when we were speaking before, I wanted to bring up about you'd mentioned not being accepted technically if you're not from Scotland in the Scottish scene, with the air quotes as such, and that's partly down to that as well. Is like I'm not saying this because I want people to then hit me up after this or stuff, but basically I know how good I am, right? And it sounds really cocky, but I've done this for years. I've been all over. I've had brilliant success with some things, and yet you still, people don't want to branch out of the box and work with other people. You don't see many collaborations. I can name on one hand how many collaborations I've done in the last 10 years in Scotland with Scottish artists, and not through me not wanting to do collaborations. So and as a scene who wants to branch out, and this isn't aimed at everyone, because there is guys who branch out on their own and do things. But as a scene who want to branch out, and you've got somebody, a Bridgeway, I've taken people down to Yorkshire. I've taken Mad Hat to do shows. I've taken Nitty to do shows. I've taken Blasphemous Sinner. Wardy Burns came with us, stayed in my mum's hotel. Mm-hmm. So I've taken people down to Yorkshire and let people in Yorkshire experience their music, so I'm kind of a good gateway in that sense. So to me, if I wanted to get involved in the Scottish scene, what I'd do is I'd try and work with people in that scene, in a sense, so that you get involved with it. But it's strange to me that, I don't know, maybe I'm shit really, and nobody Nobody does want to work with me because I'm shite.
I think it's. I don't know exactly what it is. It's about integration. I think you need to fucking work with as much people, and it's all this beefing and shit. I've not got fucking time for it. I see people complaining about other people doing certain things, and it's like, who fucking cares? The fans don't care. The people that listen to music don't care.
It shows you as a person, though, you know, like, and I'm not on a fucking high horse here or anything, right? But it shows you as a person. It's like, I genuinely, I mentioned when we were chatting before about Shogun, you know, I love that shit. I have such a proud feeling inside of me that a young guy can, you know, can achieve something like that, you know, even if it was overnight or in a short space of time. There's no bad blood, you know. I've done this for years and I've had some fucking amazing experiences, you know what I mean? I've met some people when I was at school I never thought I'd get to meet. I've been to places, I've partied in just stupid places, you know, free booze flowing all day in hotels, and, you know, and I love the fact I've got to do that, but it doesn't make me bitter that somebody else has done, you know, 100,000 views overnight or whatever. Shogun, you know, and if you're sat there and you genuinely are hating on somebody for achieving that, thinking why was it not me, then you need to have a look at yourself about that. You know what I mean? That shows the person, because there's a fair few people, and it's not just in rap, it's in production and everything, and I see them doing things, and it makes me proud. You know, it doesn't make me bitter at all. If I see somebody working with an artist from somewhere, or somebody getting on the bill of a show, it doesn't, you know, I don't sit there being like, oh, why was it not me? I should, you know, it just shows me that, dude, you need to up your own game and, you know, put a bit more work in and effort, you know what I mean? When Mad Hat worked with Kalashnikov, that was something that, you know, I've loved Kalashnikov for years. I've been lucky enough to support him because of Alana, you know, she got us on the bill for that, and it was fantastic. And, you know, me and Taj we met him, we had a chat with him, you know, a really sound guy, and I loved the fact I got to do that. But when I saw what Mad Hat, you know, done a track with him, I was just like, fantastic, you know what I mean? That's fucking brilliant. You know, I'm not, if you sat there and you see that and go like, oh, fuck, you shouldn't have done that, it should have been me, then that's just you as a reflection of a person. Is like, you know, you've got that negativity inside you.
Just absolutely fucking ridiculous people, man.
Yeah. You know, and there's people have done, like we said before, you know, people in the Scottish music community have done fantastic things, you know, pioneers. And again, I'm not going to name everybody, you know, but, you know, Steg G, Freestyle Master, Damaged Goods, Big Div, you know, Boz, you know, guys like that from way back who are still doing stuff now. Yeah. You know, they're achieving, but when you look at, again, like Shogun or Physics, who's branching out and doing really well, you know, Gasp, nobody should try and take anything away they're achieving just because they weren't the first people, you know, in that music thing. There's not a queue and go like, you deserve this because of... And again, that's not me. I'm not slating on, you know, older heads. I'm one myself. I'm just saying in the general thing, when we start getting behind people like that and being proud of what they're achieving, they bring new people to our forefront, to our, you know, if you're on the bill with Shogun now, if you know, if you're lucky enough, he you know, he was on the me and Taj put a show on, and he was the opening act at our show, and it was a small venue, about 100 plus capacity, and it was packed out. It was a brilliant night. But, you know, this is quite a strange thing. The bill that Shogun played on, right, he opened up, and not many people knew he was, right, and he smashed it. I bumped into a guy I know called Mark Grist out in the street. He was in Glasgow for another thing, which turned out to be at the venue next door to us, and he'd finished what he was doing. So I was like, "Oh, come to our."
Is this Mark Grist from Don't Flop?
Mark Grist, the poet.
Oh, right.
It's amazing you just bumped into Mark Grist.
It's such a big fact. I've got a whole video I'm going to release online of Mark doing a set at the end of the night, but it was just off the cuff. I bumped into him, I was like, yeah, pop into our venue, and he was like, yeah, cool. And he turned up, you know, about half an hour before the end, and he was in the crowd, and Sub Friction were on doing the main set, and I was like, guys, I went on stage, I was like, really sorry, Mark's here, he wants to do a poem and stuff, you know, and they were like, yeah, that's cool, fuck it. So I just shouted over in the crowd, you know, randomly, and Mark Grist got up and done like this 6-minute long poem and stuff, and it was fantastic. But what I'm trying to explain there is, like, you look at our scene, and we had a night where Shogun's opening the bill and no one knows who he is, and Mark Grist, who's this internet phenomenon, you know, just randomly turns up and plays, and everyone's lucky to be at a show where that happens. And then a few months down the line, Shogun's the internet sensation who, you know, now. So
that's cool.
If you're lucky to get on a bill with Shogun now, you know, you're gonna have new people hearing your music. So if you're gonna hate on a guy like that for bringing something, then it's a bit strange to me. You know?
Definitely.
That's. I just wanted to kind of touch on that a slight bit again, because it's something I think. If we remain positive, I'm not saying create unity, and I'm not saying we all have to be friends and love each other, and, you know, people are not going to get along. It's human nature. But what I'm saying is, when somebody does well, if you champion that person and push them, you know, they're going to take you with them. And when you look at other scenes like the American scene and, you know, Canadian scene, and, you know, people like Drake and stuff, you know, not for the music, but for what they do. Drake brought people with him. You know, he blew up and he brought people with him. You know, brought like Nicki Minaj, people like that along with it. You know, and you look at certain groups of artists in America, they bring people with them. They all know each other from back in the day. Do you know, it's not a coincidence. They never got famous, then knew each other. You know, when Dilated Peoples worked with Kanye West, they knew him before Kanye was who he was. You know, they knew who he was. So that's what we need to have, is, you know, in our scene, if you want to call it a scene, is champion these people and, you know, push them and help them grow as artists, because when they get up there, they might not turn around and, you know, pull you along with them, but they will bring something to the table, something else, you know, more people, more exposure. You know, Shogun had fucking Vice and Red Bull up in Scotland following him around as artists. So all it takes is one of those interviews to go, well, what else is going on up here? Let's find somebody else. Do you know what I mean? That's and then it progresses. So yeah, should always let's do a bit of championing.
He's caused a few sort of. I've seen a few sponsored posts where it's been a blog saying something like Scottish grime, the genre you've never heard of. So there's been a couple of them that have popped up because Shogun's been as successful as he was.
And on that as well, it's kind of, you know, you see people comment on that and go like, oh, what do you mean you've never heard of it? Fucking hell, this is out. What people need to realise is the majority haven't heard it. Taj went on Bobby Friction's show on the BBC a couple of years ago, right? Did an interview and everything, and Bobby said to him, how come I've only just heard of you if you've been doing this for years? You know, how come no one knew who you were? And Taj was like, because the mainstream media isn't looking. That's, you know, so if you're following a crowd of people in music, you don't know about it. So when something comes out and goes, oh, Scottish grime, no one's ever heard it, and then people in our community over here start going, oh, but there's tons of them, it's bullshit, so-and-so's a rapper and so-and-so, that's brilliant, but nobody knows that, and you need to understand that what this platform's trying to do is trying to show people, look, this is Scottish grime, we've never heard it, you've never heard it, here it is. Not, you know, there's nobody else doing it, and, you know, the interviewer from Vice or whatever, or Red Bull, is not discrediting our history of music up here. Like, that's not what they're aiming to do. They don't know, and they're coming in, and you got to look at these things like a child. That's what they're coming in like, a young child who doesn't know what's going on. So that's their grasp of it. So yeah, kind of.
Well, I remember Johnny had done like a kind of retrospective of kind of like where hip hop came from, Scotland wise sort of thing. A lot of the kind of originators and stuff, and he missed out a few names, and those names were the ones that were complaining that fucking he had missed out these big names and stuff like that. And it was like, he was just telling it for the point of view of just to get people interested, sort of thing, like the people that don't know a lot of the stuff that's happening. And it's just it's quite annoying.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's kind of my point on that as well. Is you know, I still don't know every artist who was around in Scotland years ago. You know what I mean? I'm lucky enough. Damaged Goods and Steg posted me vinyl years ago, you know, for nothing, and they didn't have to, and they gave me, you know, BJ Damaged Goods always, you know, he's posted me his CDs in the past and gone, oh, give me a you know, out of his own pocket and give me it. So because of him, I've learned who, you know what I mean, who was featuring on it, who was with him. So unless somebody tells me, I have no idea. So it's same with me. If I was to, you know, if you ask me who's the foundation of hip hop in Scotland, the first name that comes to mind to me is Steg G, right? Yeah. Now I might be wrong with that. You know, that's to me who it is. I'm not saying Steg was the first. He might be, he might not be. But in my perception of it, that's who I consider, because that's all I know. So unless someone's willing to teach me, so when Johnny's trying to, like, you know, teach people, if someone's going to get pissy about it, it's like, come on, man. You know, that's like asking me, you know, name every footballer in the history of a fucking club or something. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna miss some names out, man. There's so many people. And I get overlooked quite a lot now and again when people say, like, oh, so, top lists of what come out or top lists of whatever, and you know, you're like, I'm overlooked on that. You know, this is a genuine thing in 2014, right? Just from what me and Taj could find, Stanley Odd, Hector Berserk, and Big Taj versus Spee Sixnine toured the most, right, out of anyone else in Scotland. I'm not talking about like Edinburgh, Glasgow, and Dundee and Aberdeen, right? We out of all of us, me and Taj did the most gigs out of anybody else in that sort of hip hop scene in other places, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, we did the most gigs. We were in Leeds, York, you know, all these places, as well as in Scotland, right? Mm-hmm. And nobody, you know, that's overlooked. You know, I seen the list and the Skinny and stuff going, oh, these artists, you know, the at the forefront, and you know, Hector Berserk and Stanley Odd were in there, right? Rightly so. You know, they are fantastic. I use that word a lot, fantastic, but they are, you know, the brilliant artists, well deserved. But you tend to look at these things and go like, well, what about me? But I'm not going to get pissy about that, right? And be like, you never mentioned my name. And, you know, in 2014, we played over 100 shows that year, as well as working full-time jobs and looking after our families. You know, there's only 365 days in a year, man. You know, we played 100 shows as well as working over 100 shows. So it comes to that, doesn't it? It's like, you know, you either mention me or you don't. If you don't mention me, I can't get pissy about that and start attacking people, going, where's my mention? Where's this? It's just one of them things, isn't it? You get overlooked and you just go, well, fine. So if somebody's name gets missed out off a list for being a pioneer or whatever, then come on, man. If that's what you need to fuel your credit, if that's what you're making music for, you know, recognition and stuff, then, you know, I don't know. Maybe we're on different paths. Yeah. Yeah. I'm making music because I enjoy creating as an artist. You know, and I said this to you in our amazing interview that was recorded. You know, but if one person, man, that's it. I can go to bed at night knowing that somebody in another country listened to my music today and, you know, made them feel a certain way, and that's all that matters for it from me, because I'm creating art. Same as if somebody makes a painting, or if you guys do one of your videos or a chat. You know, it's not about views or how many people saw it. You're creating something because you're a artistic person who, you know. So yeah, you can get mad all you want if. But then, sorry, I need to add this bit, right? Because what I said there was not a dig at last year. Damaged Goods put a video up, right, and he was a bit pissed off about the Sammers and stuff, right? What I said there about, you know, get over it if you missed out, right? That's not aimed at what he was on about at that time, because that was a travesty, man. The dude put out fucking 4 EPs in a year or something, right? And never even got a fucking sniff at something, and like that was a that was a bit.
Hopefully they take care this year. I've got his vinyl here. He sent me the album through, and hopefully he gets a fucking shout for this year as well. Hopefully,
mate, he deserves to. But if he doesn't, you know, this is something again. We kind of need to keep creating in the scene, and you know, Brian's a fantastic artist who's been around for years, and he does deserve it. But if he doesn't get it, it comes down to who's judging this. You know, I've no beef. Again, I don't like that word. No beef with anybody, right? But you know, you need to look at the fine print of it. You know, who won Best Hip Hop this year at the Summers?
Stevie T?
Simba? Yeah.
Was it Simba? Yeah, because Johnny was part of the selection process for that as well.
Yeah. And brilliantly deserved to him. But you know, when me and Tad were up for it the year before, the original process, right, of picking who the artists are, that's fine. But see, the end bit, it just becomes a pissing contest. And you know, when Spring Break won it against me and Tad, you know, it's a brilliant accolade to have, but you know, you had to go out and fucking beg people to vote for you. Do you know what I mean? Right. Like, and every artist in that category did, you know, and I know these things through private messages or anything else. You know, me and Taj had a thing, you know, we posted up a few times, vote for us, whatever. Mog was on there, right? And Mog's probably got one of the biggest fan bases in Scotland. Mm-hmm. And he didn't win, so it just shows you how much, you know, and that's why with Brian as well, it's not, you don't need to be worried about it, because it's not, if the winner was judged by that panel as well, then that's great, but they're not, so it becomes like a popularity contest of you're going to win because you've got the most people or you got the most votes behind you, and then it takes away from the music. And I feel it should win on, you know, on the merit of your music and the strength of it. That's not on how many people you can, you know, ask to vote for you, because I'm not interested in, you know, oh, please vote for me, and you know, I want to win this award. And
it gets to a point where it's like you say, begging is just
that's it. What did you win? What did you win? Exactly.
One thing I would like to say is these kind of popularity contests are the sort of things that lead to presidents like Trump getting voted in. One of these really fucking annoying things, man.
Well, and I love. Don't get me wrong, I love like things like the Summers and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I would back them all day because it does bring new people to new genres, right? And it does a great thing for the scene, you know. In all scenes of music, it's a brilliant thing, and it's great for the artist to win something like that and to show, you know. I'd love to, you know, sit back when I'm 50 and go like, oh, that's the award I won for being the best that year out of everything. But I feel personally they need to reshape the outcome of it, and you know, Richie and everyone who run it, you have to vote through their website, yeah. So of course that's the best way for them because it's more traffic coming through their website, right? You know. Yeah. But I feel personally it should be done on a panel of, you know, hit up like 10, 15 people from the music industry and go, right, these are the nominations, which one of them wins, you know, and go on a voting system or something.
That's exactly the way it should go, man. I've always said that.
From people, yeah, and that's why. And so I don't have a problem with stuff like that as such, and that's why I want to say to, like, you know, Brian as well, is not to be too worried about it, because at the end of the day, even if he got nominated, he's gonna have to, you know, beg everybody just to make him win anyway. It's like, it's quite a sad thing. Yeah.
There you go. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll leave that there. We've got another kind of 11 minutes we're going to add at the end of this, which was previously recorded on one of the best interviews we've ever done.
It was
It was fucking hilarious all the way through. Just laugh here, fucking perfect. But
the knowledge was spectacular on it as well. It was just Spee managed to name every single pioneer in Scottish hip hop. Failed. He got through every single one.
I went for everyone. I think I might do a track one day naming every single person. I've done. You know what's fucked, man? I've done a bars video, right, for a channel down south, and I don't write like this anymore because of it. I spent fucking about 2 months writing, and I
remember this. There you go.
I name like so many artists, right, from America and the UK. Plus the words I don't name, nearly all of them are title tracks, right, of like albums or singles they've put out, right. And then I done the bars video on this channel, and like nobody understood what I was doing. They just thought I was just rapping normally. And I'm like, dude, right, I seen on Facebook somebody broke down an intricate Kendrick Lamar verse and coloured it in highlighted it with pencils and shit, going like, oh, look how phenomenal this guy is because he managed to rhyme cat with hat 6 times in different ways, right? Now it is a nice verse what he done, but it don't make sense when I read it, and it didn't make sense, and I'm like, shit, man, I did that 2 years ago, and it made perfect sense. Where's my fucking
I think that might have been me
highlighters?
that put that status up about Kendrick Lamar, actually.
Where's my highlighters, man? Where's my fucking Wikipedia page about
Go to Rap Genius, Spee, rapgenius.com.
Mate, yeah, I'm going on it. I'm going to put my shit up, but I don't bother anymore. So now I just write basic shit that doesn't make any sense, and it's working out for me. It's paying off.
Just start rhyming cart with hat, and you'll get there and do it to like a kind of trap beat, Spee. That's how you say it.
Yeah, we spoke about that comedy thing where I had this idea about doing comedy to younger people about music, right? Because I wanted to play people a song, a famous song, like a rap song, and then listen back and be like, you know, let's break that shit down a little bit. For instance, The Game, right, did a song called Dreams, you know, and everyone's like paying 70 quid a ticket to go see The Game when he comes to Glasgow and, you know, wanting a picture of him, so they have to pay an extra 100 quid because he's like this phenomenal artist. This is, you know, and I listened to that song Dreams, and he rhymes the word one 3 times at the start of it, right? he says, like, he said, what does he say? Something like, something 2001, about the same time Dre dropped 2001, 10 years next the album was done, something 2001 or something, right? I'm like, dude, man, like, my 6-year-old boy can rhyme one, you know, more time. It's insanity.
It's fucking laziness,
you
man.
know. It's and then Dre on, you know, "Fuck You" by Dre, which that's my jam, by the way, right? But
right.
his opening bar, right, is "I just want to fuck bad bitches," right? That's like, you know, I want to get in the mind of that shit. Yeah, he sat down in the studio full of men, right? and yeah, you know what I mean. The reality kicks in. He's got a bit of paper in front of him, and he's like, "Oh, this beat's sick, right? What should I write?" And he don't go, "Yeah, I'm the bet." He goes, "Do you know what, guys? I just want to fuck bad bitches." And then his mate's like, "What, all them nights you never had bitches?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm all about that ass bitches." And he rhymes bitches 3 times, right? And he's again, somebody, he makes them millions, you know what I mean? And we all support someone. And, you know, if he came to our city, we'd be like, shit, let's pay 150 quid a ticket and queue outside in the cold, right? Because he rhymed bitches with bitches 3 times on a song.
There's actually an example of The Game doing pretty much that same thing. I can't remember what the song it is, but do you remember that song where it was like, I dress like,
Yeah.
Rubbish. It's the whole verse. He's just saying, at the end.
So,
well, that rhymes with so
that's what I mean. You don't need to be a wordsmith. You know, let's burn our rhyme books, man, in protest. Like feminism when they had the bras off. Let's do that, man. I reckon we hit up Glasgow Green, all the MCs, right, and we just chuck our rhyme books on the floor, burn them. You know,
you realise during this interview, this is 2 revolutions we've started. We're going to do a comedy gig, and now we're starting a rhyme book burning. Fuck.
Mate, we burn the shit out of that, right? And then next time the producer sends me a beat, I'm just like, right, I need a 1-syllable word. So I'm like, chair. And then I'll be like, fresh like a chair, sitting in my chair. Everybody's stairs, got a chair. That's it, mate. And then, you know, millions come in, and then people will start paying 100 quid a time to see me live. That's the dream. That's the dream, man.
Fuck aye, man. Fuck aye.
I'm only joking. I love The Game and Dr. Dre. They're my dudes.
Well, dude, thanks again for coming on, man. We're going to shoot into the second part of the kind of last interview.
Brilliant.
Where Spee introduces the track that we're going to play and kind of talks about a wee bit. And we also talk a wee bit about comedy as well. So
we do a little bit, yeah.
Enjoy.
Everything I just said was jokes. Right, thanks again, guys. See you soon.
Right.
Bye.
Thanks, man. Peace, dude.
Yeah, peace. A man of big, you know, a lot of words to say as a rapper. He's just like, "Oh, I've got you." That's something like that, to that effect. So that was it. And then, yeah, months later, I just got a message going, "Don't worry, I've not forgot about your verse." And then maybe a month after that, I just got a message going, "Here's the verse." It was, you know, there was not a lot of conversation involved in it. He just said yes. I got that off TenchoO, man. He was kind enough to do it for nothing. That's one of the reasons we put it out for free. Was because, you know, Dan, who did the Cuts Versatile, he's been working on and off with me for a good 15 years as well. He was in Project Mayhem with Boomstick. Did all the cuts on their stuff, you know. So I thought I'd get him in do some cuts on the end of that track as well, and that's how it came about really. And we were like, let's just do it for nothing, because if we do sell it, and you know, it's such small numbers, there's no point fighting over, you know. Theoretically, say we sold 200 copies at £1 each, what we're going to do? Split £200 3 or 4 ways. It's not even, you know, it's not worth that kind of sort of thing, you know. If we're selling big amounts. So when it comes to like collaborating and things, if there's other people on, I tend to just be like, no, let's give it away for free, because if we've not paid and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that's how that track came about, man. It was just a little teaser while I work on the rest of the album, which is, yeah, it's good fun.
Excellent, man. Excellent. Well, I've really enjoyed it. So to finish this off, what I'll get you to do is introduce the song, and we'll get into it, man. Thanks very much for doing this with us, man. Anytime.
It's been I wish it was more funny, you know. We should have had some funnies in there, Stephen.
I know. Well,
yes, Stephen, get some funnies.
I'm sorry.
I've got... No, I was meaning for me. I've got, you know, I spoke to you in the back of a car about this once. I think about that. You know, I've been trying to. I've always felt I'm a funny guy, so I've been trying to write jokes, but I can never deliver them. I think I could write for somebody else, that'd be good. Get really awkward, and I tend to like fuck it up and then laugh at it, and my laugh's the funniest part of it. So I think if I did stand up, you know.
Well, you've done stand up, Stephen. You could be.
Well, that's what I was asking. That's the thing. It's all about just like having, like, you really have to be confident. Like I'm quite a nervous guy as it is, and a bit of a stuttery fella as well. Yeah, like, really quite fucking bad at that as well. Just
I'd imagine
really,
it's hard
like, what's that?
I was going to just say, I can imagine it's hard to deliver a joke if you fuck up some of the words.
I remember once. I'll tell you this fucking story. I was in Styx in Glenrothes performing, and there was like John Ross was performing, a guy called Alan Sharp. Both really great comedians, have been on the circuit for fucking years. And this was like the first ever thing that the first ever kind of open mic thing that I'd done. And right at the end, and I don't know if I've told you this story, Craig, because it's fucking embarrassing, so I just kept it quiet. But right at the end, my fucking, like, we were asked on stage to do like a 3-minute set. That was it, 3 minutes. Which is a fucking long time when you've never done it before, and it's just you, a microphone, and 100 fucking people just watching you. And so I went out and done it. I got through the first few jokes. I was fucking sweating like fuck, craziness. And I got right to the end, and it was just a story I was telling, and it was a story about a guy that fuck it, I'll not go into it anyway. But I got to the end of the story, and I forgot part of the ending. And this is a story that I'd remembered for fucking like a good few years, and I totally forgot the ending, and I messed up, and the crowd just kind of went, oh. That is the scariest fucking thing to go through in the world, man.
Tadge's microphone broke once, and he knows the right stuff, so he was like, quick, tell a joke to the, shouting it, quick, tell jokes to the crowd. So I'm stood there with no music and a broke mic, and I was like, and I had no idea what to say. So for about a minute, I was like, and then I remember this joke about it. It's an old joke, it's not mine, but I thought I'll tell that. It's about Darth Vader at Christmas time. You might have heard it, you know. And but basically the joke is that Darth Vader's guessing all of Luke's gifts. And at the end, when he asks him, how did you do it? He said, he does the voice, and he's like, I felt your presence. You know, and it's quite a cheesy joke, but I'd been using the word presence all the way through. I was so panicking at the end. I was like, I felt your gifts, and I was like, oh, for fuck, and I like fully, and I'd never had that fear, and it reminded me of like, it's a bit like if you shit at sex, right? You know, they're like, you've got 3 minutes, and you get up there. What if at the start, right? You know, imagine a scenario, and you shit at sex, and then you've got a tiny cock. And that girl's there, and you've still got to give a good 3 minutes, but you know you've got nothing. That's how I feel. So I'm panicking.
That's my life.
It's welcome. Yeah, it's a big club.
Well, it's one of these things that like from that first gig that I done, it couldn't have went worse, really. But I think it was my third gig that I'd ever done. No, sorry, third gig. It was at the Kirkcaldy YMCA. And it was a thing for it was like a work night thing, and that couldn't have went better. I got asked to do. I went from like doing a 3-minute set to immediately jumping into doing 20 minutes, which is fucking ridiculous. So I sat and wrote. What's that?
When I think about like getting on stage and doing it, it puts the fear in me, even though I'm used to being on a microphone. But
well, that's the thing. It's completely different because you've not got music to save you. You're just talking.
Exactly, but if I'm at work and I'm just around a few of the chefs in the kitchen or something, and I'm just chatting shite to them, I feel like I'm on a roll and I can use some of my material that I've wrote, and it comes out, fluently, and it's beautiful. And then when I test them, I write something and I'll tell one of my friends I wrote this, and I tell them, and I don't do it how I think I should do it on stage, so it just becomes not funny. It's just like, oh yeah, that's a good, and that's really.
Have you ever had anybody like? Because when I was doing stand up for that short time, somebody had asked, "Oh, you do stand up? Tell me a joke." Oh, and I was like, "Oh, fuck's sake! Now you have to like try and make you laugh." Based on,
try. That's it. Yeah.
And because it's about context as well. If you're at a comedy gig, you're there to see people telling funny stories, try to make you laugh.
Yeah.
They're there waiting for you fucking up. That's exactly all they're fucking waiting for.
They want you to fail.
Tell me a joke, Spee. Tell me a joke. Right now. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
That's the problem. If you put me on the spot like that, some of the ones I've wrote is like, I wrote a bit about how this isn't the joke, so you're not going to laugh, alright, because it'll be shit. Because I won't. It's
if you're going to do comedy, Spee, try and not do that either.
But when you go on holiday when you're younger, and then like your mum or your dad, they start looking in windows at like. My mum used to tell us, we'd be down in like Western Superman. She'd be like, "Oh, they're looking for a cleaner in the shop round there. Like we're gonna move, like we're gonna up sticks and leave." And so I write a lot of things like that, like observational. That shit used to happen. She'd be looking at housing prices. I'm like, "Ma'am, we've got an entire life back home, and we're here for 2 weeks, and you're looking at cleaning jobs in a chippy." So that's kind of like, I don't know how to deliver that stuff. I think I worry about it. But one day, mate, once I quit music, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Mm-hmm. Did Weedy say he was going to do stand up for a while?
Weedy did.
I think he did it, didn't he?
He did it a few times.
He had the shot. We did someone else well back on the bigging up. Sorry to go back to that, but big up to Weedy as well, because he's somebody who's been at it for years. Anyway, right, yeah, stand up from Weedy, brilliant.
Careful, man. Careful.
And Loki's done it. They're all.
Loki's done it as well.
There's a good few people doing it. Definitely.
There's nobody rat anymore. They're all just doing stand up.
Nah, I done a track a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and it was a posse cut, and Jester Jacobs is on it, and he's a dope MC, but he's doing stand up now as well. He's like,
right.
He's all out there, yeah. He's
Doc Brown, for instance.
Doc Brown, mate, yeah.
Jesus, he's doing quite well for himself as well.
Yeah, it's all right. That's the way forward, mate. That's it. Let's all pack music up. Message to the Scottish hip hop scene. Let's quit. There's no need.
Do it. If we set up a gig one night, it'll be me and Craig to start off. We'll host it. I will get I'll do 5 minutes. Craig do 5 minutes, and you do 5 minutes. That's a whole gig set up, man.
I'm on it. I'm on it, mate. We won't get any laughs out of my shit, but it'll be good. Let's do it.
Because Spee will just be sitting going, "I've got this joke. It's shit, but." Whatever.
That's what I say. I end up panicking. Right.
I can imagine me doing that as well. To be honest, I quite like sitting behind a table talking shit on a mic. That's much more my scene.
I'll speak to Richard Pulsford, man. See if we get someone set up, man. That'd be cool.
All right. I might be ill that week, but we'll give it a shot.
I'll be ill as well. I remember the first I went to stand up that same night. I was fucking panicking so much about going out. I was like thinking of ways that I could just pretend faint, or I could
take a fall. Oh,
I even at one point had in my head like there was a joke shop it's no far away from Kirkcaldy High Street. There was a joke shop not far away. I was like maybe, and this is a fucking ridiculous idea, but I was like maybe I can get blood pellets and then fucking I don't know ridiculous fucking stuff like this insane. But
you can take a fall, man, and just try and make out that it was some kind of on the spot interpretational theatre,
like some Mrs. Brown's Boys material.
Yeah,
some good shit. Horrible. I fucking hate Mrs. Brown's Boys. Anyway, thank you very much again, Spee, for coming in, man.
Would you like to speak to you guys? Yeah,
defo, man, defo. Would you like to introduce your track, man?
Yeah, let's do it.
Your chat.
Your Chuck.
Tit,
I
you
think
fucking
it's a Chuck
idiot.
there now.
This is called Cobra Kai, and it features TenchoO and DJ Versatile on the cuts. And I've been Spee Sixnine. It's been brilliant speaking to the boys. Let's get into it.
Yes, right here. Now, TenchoO, Spee Sixnine. Let's go. Yo, you say you smoke the crow? Cool, that's a ganja leaf. I smoke the crow too. I shot Brandon Lee. Talk if you seem tempted. Bam, you fall to your feet senseless. Fam, it's all in the reflexes. T's reckless, doubt a shudder. Thought your year looked bright, but it's a cloudy summer. So shocking with the styles I've uttered. I should have the danger of death sign as my album cover. Ask Spee Sixnine, T's big time. Fuck me, gin, wine. I drink neat strychnine in a liquid form. Born to deep think rhymes and write the type of scheme to make the precinct mine. Build a fort with a swinging drawbridge, a moat with swimming swordfish, a round table for the dinner courses, as we exhibit the illest forms of inner forces and go hard like a stiffened corpse with rigor mortis.
I run this dojo like it's Cobra Kai. If you've broken ties with me, souls will fly to the open sky. Focused eyes with a local mind. In my den, brain is zen with the pen doing overtime. I'm not remotely fine stepping out the pentagram. Demons crawled from the walls till my temper ran. Dreams have always been drawn from the mental plan. I scribble thoughts in my yarn till they send a van. I'm on a level you can never see. You can claim you're full of empathy, but know that it can never be. Channel the anger that gets spent on me. Eddie taught me capoeira when I dream with him on Tekken 3. I got them bars you could never spray. Leather face, you get hit with the trebuchet. Elevate with the fist when we celebrate. I got that magic stick like Professor Snape.
Make sure my mic is loud and my production is tight. Worldwide. 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 Make sure my mic is loud and my production is tight. Worldwide. Worldwide. I'm versatile, representing like a tribe, but you'll never ever be representing like what? I'm versatile, representing like a tribe, but you'll never ever be this high. What?
That was Spee Sixnine with a track called Cobra Kai featuring TenchoO and DJ Versatile. Fantastic tune, love it. Fucking what? The interview was interesting because I've never interviewed
Which
Spee
one?
before. What?
Which one?
What are you talking about?
The one that worked or the one that didn't?
No, both. I think I'm going to talk about it in that sense. I've spoken to Spee a bunch of times at like different gigs and stuff like that. Never actually had an interview with him. And it's someone I've always wanted to do. It's someone we've been trying for a long fucking time. He has never been able to get time, and I'm always free. So it's just one of the things.
So how much of what he was talking about did you ken already for having?
Not very much. Because like when we're talking about like superficial bullshit. We're talking about like fucking. Oh, we seen this guy the other day, and what an idiot and shit like that. Or
The
fucking,
last time I saw Spee in person was well, I reckon if it was the last time, but the time I remember was standing next to him, Big Taj, and whoever it was that was with him and Big Taj.
Did you feel like I did?
Cobra, and I was standing next to Dwayne. So it was me and Dwayne standing with three of the tallest fucking men in the world. I felt like a total tool.
It's funny because Taj said one day, he was like, I fucking hate someone next to Spee because he's taller than me. So I'm Big Taj.
Aye, you're not meant to be taller than Taj, like.
It's fantastic. So that's the first time I've actually interviewed Spee and got sort of questions on him. The obvious annoying thing was the beginning part of the interview that we totally fucking missed. I don't know what the fuck happened. I just tuned back in. We finished the Skype interview, then I went to check the kind of recording, and it recorded like the last 11 minutes of the interview, so that's how it's a kind of bit of a clusterfuck near the end.
No had much luck with Skype, have we? Me fucking up Rocky Tirades.
Aye, totally, man, totally.
That was my fuck up though.
We'll get used to it, man. That's just one of these things. We've just started using the Skypes.
Aye, the Skype's a new thing.
The thing is,
I'm not going to lie, I fucking hate Skype.
Aye, Skype's pretty terrible.
I wish folk would move on to better things.
Aye.
Like fucking Vitsy or something like that. It's a much better programme.
TeamSpeak's actually quite good.
TeamSpeak's a significantly better programme for audio stuff.
I've tried to use it a few times with different people, and they just fucking struggle with it.
How?
I
It's
don't know.
so simple. It's a small programme that you install.
Aye.
Most of the time you go on in your default settings or your mic settings, that's what it is. Because it's an audio fucking thing. I reckon it's so much easier to set up than Skype. Skype is such a shit, bulky, pish, like fucking computer illiterate mess.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a fucking shitstorm of pish.
It's an absolute fucking
Hate
omni-shambles,
it
man.
so much. I really wish people would walk away from that.
That's it. And
fucking Microsoft nonsense. But they didn't. They just keep like, oh, Skype will suck Skype's cock. Like, fucking just walk away from it. It's pish.
Aye, it's pretty fucking
Because then
terrible.
we keep needing to fucking use it.
It's pretty unreliable a lot of the time. It's just really fucking annoying to use.
And again, bulky. So fucking bulky. It's just slow and messy. Oh, I fucking hate Skype.
It's awful. It's fucking
Really,
awful.
I wish I'd pay people to walk away from it and use better fucking... Because it's not as if you're in the fucking internet age. There's like 20 or 30 alternatives that are also free. Just use better shit.
The good thing is you could also use like kind of Facebook Live and stuff like that for it. No Facebook Live, but the Facebook...
Facebook Messenger's pish as well.
Is it?
The video thing, it's, again, bulky. It's just bulky and fucking messy.
Right.
Shit. Vitsy and TeamSpeak are the way to go. Vitsy is encrypted, perfect for paedophiles, weirdly. A lot of paedophiles use Vitsy because it's actually encrypted. It's no like...
Is it like Tor
Skype
or something
encrypted.
Like that?
No, it's just... the people that run Vitsy didn't have a database of the messages. So the downside is that pedos use it. But the upside is that you could actually use it if you're actually like a whistleblower or whatever. You could.
Totally like a kind of Edward Snowden.
But
deal.
it's like it's an encrypted version of Skype basically, and it's just better.
Aye, that's fair.
I reckon we folk didn't fucking use better.
Well, again, much appreciated for Spee for doing it for us, man. It's fucking quality. Quite a long interview, so anybody that was kind of trying to tune in, good luck with listening to the whole thing. Fantastic.
Although they didn't try and big yourself up too much, we had to record 2 of them.
Aye, totally. That was almost 2 hours of chat with Spee, which I enjoyed. It was good. It was great.
Weirdly, still had new things to talk about in the second.
Aye, but there was a few extra things that I'd forgotten for the first one, so I thought I'll fucking throw these in, keep it fresh for everybody, sort of thing. So we're not kind of just repeating.
If we were bored and we were just repeating stuff that we already kent, it would have came across as boring and pish to other people.
Definitely. So again, thanks Spee. Thanks for the tune as well. It's available for free download right now. You can go check it. I'll leave a link so people can actually get a hold of it as well. Fantastic. Right, we're going to get on with some news stories. Unfortunately for this week, I couldn't fucking find anything that was like even notable.
See,
the only one thing I did find was that T in the Park's cancelled next year. But how much could you say about that?
We can talk about it a wee bit.
I'm not interested.
Talk about it now?
I've no interest in T in the Park whatsoever. We can talk about a wee bit about it. But
why they closed? Why they?
Well, they're mainly shutting because of the kind of difference in the venue. The venue was an absolute bastard to get into.
Could you call it a venue?
Oh, it's a field. It's a field. But because of the kind of different, the actual change of the place. For instance, we had a taxi driver that we spoke to. He was taking a few people up. Now, if you're paying for the minibus, it might not cost that much extra because of the way that the actual money counter works. Because it works through the engine. There's like someone on the engine.
It's works based on time you're in the car as a tiny wee fraction of the amount of money that goes towards it. But the petrol used and like the amount of
it's weird.
Movement is. I reckon exactly how it works. But
I'd love to know the attachments.
I have had it explained to me.
But
I wasn't listening.
I'll need to get a taxi driver in to find out.
Totally.
Taxi mechanic. Definitely.
We are related to one. So
that's, that could work. I totally forgot about that. Fucking hell. So due to the kind of venue change and stuff like that, he was saying that there's a wee country road where everybody was travelling on. and it's just a fucking like a long wee country road, and there was tons of people all trying to get into the one place, and he was on there for about an hour trying to get just into the fucking bit where he could drop people off.
Fuck it, now.
It's ridiculous. They should, like, because on the odd one they had like taxi lanes and shit like that. And
it was a perfect venue.
Oh, perfect field view,
Aye.
sort of thing. But I think they're trying to kind of revise that.
Was there no sort of a rush for them to get the new place? Because
I think so.
The last one had gas pipes or something, or the farmer didn't want to get away anymore, or something like that.
I kind of mind the story of the last one, like, but they're hoping to kind of renew that kind of relationship and stuff.
In Scotland, there's no more fields.
There's a fucking field there. We could do it. We could do it down there.
You could easily get it down there.
Mm-hmm. Fuck aye.
I understand the problem with finding a venue in Scotland.
Aye.
For seeing the park. You just need lots of fields.
That's
Scotland is just lots of fields.
Mainly. That's it. There you go. So what news stories, how many news stories have you got, did you say?
Oh, I've only got like a few news. 4, 5 news stories maybe.
Right.
But
you've got like, loads of talking points.
It's the talking points within the news stories that are like, I do politics, and so for the next 4 years I've got Donald Trump to cover.
Yes.
Like, I'm never going to have a trouble.
You said something interesting actually, fucking that you said you had the next 4 years, but then you were like, actually 8, because he's going to win it again.
Because he's going to win it again.
Which, it's interesting and also pretty true, because I also feel the same way.
The Democrats were planning on running Tim Kaine next year. Do you know who Tim Kaine is?
Kaine?
They're fucking running partner of Hillary Clinton this year.
Oh God.
The one that fucking lost. They're already trying to push him as going to be the next candidate.
What can they
do?
What can they do?
They could run Bernie Sanders and get behind him. That's what they could do.
Go and do that, please.
And then the problem with Bernie Sanders now is it's going to be in 4 years, and he was already getting the you're too old. But now they're going to be like, but then Donald Trump's going to be 4 years and terrible.
Aye, totally.
So they could run Elizabeth Warren, who is sort of like the female version of Bernie Sanders. Essentially, is the female version of Bernie Sanders. You could run her. There's a couple of people that have been mentioned. I don't ken all these people, obviously.
No.
But I listen to Secular Talk, who does ken. So I'm sort of hoovering his shit and like pushing it as my own. Big up to Secular Talk and Big Seltzer. Personal joke, nobody's going to get it. They care.
Sorry, Big Seltzer.
But the Democrats can do things to win, and Donald Trump's going to be terrible. Folk are going to want a change in 4 years, and if they keep getting shoved with fucking establishment cunts, they're just going to be like, no, we didn't want that, so they're going to vote Republican again. And the DNC are like, fucking, they keep running these fucking pricks, these absolute bellends, and go, Bernie Sanders isn't what he's talking. He's a socialist. 1, he's not. 2, fucking so what? Like, it's quite clearly better than what you're running the new. Like, have some perspective of your fucking shit party.
It's amazing.
Also, I fucking hate party politics. The fact there's 2 parties, like we were talking about this in the election campaign, with 2 people that are in political parties, that how shit political parties are. Like the fact that you're going and you're voting for Solidarity or Liberal Democrats, because that's the 2 people that were in. Where it should be based on the merit of the person that's running. It's a bit different in the US because you are actually voting for the president at that point. But like here, you see Green, and then you see in our list election it would be Labour, and then it would be Kay Morrison. So you would pick Labour because you would pick Kay Morrison because of Labour, as opposed to picking Kay Morrison,
which is what a lot of folk done.
Being right.
A lot of folk kind of blindly voted SNP councillors, like without think they no councillors MPs.
So in that situation, they'd been voting Jenny Gilruth, not because Jenny Gilruth was particularly special. I'm sure she's very nice, but it's not because she's particularly special or an amazing politician or says revolutionary things. It's just she was SNP. She was the SNP candidate, so vote for the SNP.
We both voted for Kay. Am I right in assuming that? No. We both voted for Kay because we had her on the podcast.
Constituency.
And the constituency thing, because she was cool.
Because she was the
She
closest
kind of
thing to a socialist.
she kind of fucked her mum over a wee bit with the disability tickets and shit like that, but she was cool, apart from that.
She was the closest thing to a socialist. And I know that the other party aren't huge fans of Labour, but I didn't really care. I was voting based on the candidate. I think she would have done better. As being the closest thing to a socialist, I think she would have done better than Jenny Gilruth is, who's a social democrat, who's a bit more centre than Kay Morrison. Liberal Democrats again, social democrats who are a bit more right wing than the SNP, and then fucking the Tories. I'm going to vote for a Tory. Why would I vote for a Tory? So the only thing left was Kay Morrison. That's not to shut on Kay Morrison. I'm sure she is nice, but like, if there was a Green Party thing, or if Solidarity was on the constituency vote as well, I would have voted both times for Solidarity, or Green and then Solidarity, or whatever.
Did you even think about Rise at any point? We went to a Rise meeting.
I went to a Rise meeting. I liked Rise. I was going to vote for Rise. I actually after speaking to Jenny a bit and then going into the meeting, I was like, I'm going to vote Rise because I like what they're doing. And then Mum was going to vote Rise.
Aye, totally. Aye, she was thinking. I was surprised about that.
Aye.
Holy shit.
Mum, the fucking socialist, eh?
Aye, unbelievable.
But then it went to the Solidarity meeting, and then started seeing some of the sort of regressive leftist stuff that Rise were doing. The sort of dismissing of rational thought and just going purely for emotional arguments. Fucking hate that. I hate it. So I then went with Solidarity, who, like, I'm going to disagree with them at some point. Already have.
Happens to everybody.
Kind of. But they're the very closest. I've accepted in my life now that I'm never going to get a party that I agree with 100%.
Totally.
So I've just been like, the closest thing I can get to.
And the other interesting thing is that Rise have done nothing since that. Nothing.
Colin Fox has done a wee bit. But he's SSP. He's no.
Right, so he's not even.
Rise was meant to be the left alliance. It was meant to be an alliance of all the left wing parties. But then they were like, nah, fuck Tommy Sheridan. And so.
Was it?
Solidarity weren't allowed in this left alliance. And then Solidarity beat Rise. It was a terrible thing. Solidarity.
That was weird. I thought Rise were going to get a lot better than Solidarity because, like, based on the meeting, like, there was a lot of people there. But when you actually think about it, when we were at the meeting, there was a lot of Rise people there.
Aye.
And there was like a few other people. Because, like, it wasn't until I got to the end, there was like loads of people sitting with Jenny, just in a big huddled group of 12 people. At the Solidarity thing, it was just genuinely just people came in because they were interested.
And then Tam, the communist.
And then Tam, brilliant. Tam's great.
I love Tam. Tam plays devil's advocate. Wasn't it really because he does disagree with Solidarity?
Aye, totally.
He's a communist and they're socialists.
Aye.
I reckon if many people can the difference.
Aye. Well, that's it. Well, Tam kind of came in that meeting and he was just sitting back, just sort of enjoying the vibe of the meeting. It seemed like he was just sitting like legs crossed, just kind of going,
waiting for his moment.
Aye. And then
just wait, Bill. I'll fucking do it.
Yeah. And then, because nobody else asked questions, I think Tom was just there just to watch. But as soon as nobody was asking questions, I was like, fuck it.
Oh, yeah, go.
Right, I'll hit a blast. And then Bill kind of got hit up a wee bit. I was like, I like this fucking guy.
Aye, I like Tam. I really like Tam. Aye. We've had Tam on the podcast.
Brilliant,
I like Tam.
For Methyl as well, Methyl boy.
Totally.
Fucking brilliant, man.
The communist, the commie for Methyl.
Fuck aye, man.
Fucking dirty commies.
Sorry, we were reading the story.
The DNC are shit.
Aye.
And they're really going to lose. Aye, it was about Donald Trump going to win in another 4 years.
Aye.
I reckon if you can, Jimmy Dore, he's a comedian.
Aye.
Works on the Young Turks.
Oh no, aye, that's all I can, because you told me who he is.
Aye. Anyway, Jimmy Dore's been really fucking brutal against the DNC. He's talking about how the left fell asleep because the black guy got to be president, so everybody just went, oh, racism's dead, everything's fine. We've got a black guy as president, so the left are fine. And let him deport Obdi and let him expand invasions and drone strikes and just let him do a bunch of evil fucking shit just because he was the black president that was the Liberal Democrat. And he's like, now finally there's a fucking ugly face on this. We're finally maybe going to get people to actually not just fucking let people get away with this bullshit and say stuff against it.
The funny thing is, there's a lot of the hip hop community are to blame for that as well. A lot of black rappers were kind of just like, oh, he's good because he's black. That's it.
People like Nas, I think it was Nas. Anyway, people that had been like critical with all these politicians, even left-wing politicians that had actually helped people, they were just critical of them. And then as soon as the black president came in, they would just all fell asleep.
Chris Rock was fucking disgusted me. I think I was staying up in a flat like up near the shopping centre in Kenway, and that was when Barack Obama got elected. And you just hear all these things like beforehand, like Chris Rock, he's like, he black. Just mention he's a black president. He's going to be a black president. Black. What about his fucking? I never heard any mention of policies and shit. And of course, at that time, I didn't get shit. I was like, fuck the government. They're all lizards. It's fucking disgusting. Stop it. They're going to just shed their skin. They'll come out later.
That was funny. The funny thing about this is, when Obama was first became president, like you, I was the heavy conspiracy theorist. I was like, fucking, these are lizard people. I'd never believed that. But he was like, oh, he's controlled by the Illuminati, he's all this. And so I just totally dismissed him as this big, massive warmonger, authoritarian fucking fuck knuckle, right? And then, it was about 2 years ago, I started thinking, hang on, I've had all these other changes in mind, but I've no changed on Obama. I've no, like, why have I not done this? So I started actually looking into it without the sort of lizard brain thing that I had gone on. Lizard and I was brain. Like, oh, he has actually done some things that are pretty nice for Americans. Nowhere near as left as I am, by any means. But he has actually done things, so he's not the lizard person that I thought he was. But he has also expanded war. He has also deported more people than Republicans deported. He has... Obamacare's obviously nice and was shot on a wee bit by Republicans, limiting things a lot, which made Obamacare much less successful. But he was still sort of against universal healthcare. He was against the single payer system, and like he's quite clearly not being criticised enough because he's the first black president.
Can I just jump in? See Obamacare. Is it not a bit big-headed to just call like the free, the free medical, what do you call it? Sorry, free healthcare. Sorry,
it's no even free healthcare. It's just insurance companies aren't allowed to.
Right. Well, to call it after yourself.
It wasn't him that done that though.
Oh, was it no?
Nah.
Alright, well that's fair enough then, fuck what I was saying.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
It was sort of just named after him because he changed the healthcare system. That was
then if you're going to do something cool, just fucking shut the fuck up. Just call it a name, right? Totally. Just whatever. Call it NHS.
Aye. But, like, Bernie Sanders came out for universal healthcare, and Hillary Clinton used to be for universal healthcare. And then she changed her mind when people started saying, oh, socialists, commies.
It's weird that the fucking hatred that left and right have for each other. It's fucking hilarious.
But
because it's just fucking people's feelings.
Aye.
It's just what people think in their head.
But I see it, like, even with people that I like Cars. Me and Cars disagree
on pretty much everything.
Pretty much everything. Like,
but some things
on a, like, socio-economic thing. Like, he's... I need to pick my words properly here. He's not against welfare, but he's against, like, government welfare. He's against that sort of thing. So we disagree on a lot of these things, and he'll still say things like the left didn't ken the difference between corporatism and capitalism and stuff like that. Like, that's a big thing to say. I ken the difference, and I'm still on the left. I happen to disagree with who regulates or doesn't regulate corporations and who controls the means of production, who brings in laws or doesn't bring in laws, as the case may be, for working hours and stuff like that. I just simply disagree with him on certain things. It doesn't mean I didn't ken. It's an arrogant belief to think that, because you didn't agree with me, that you clearly didn't understand it. That's very arrogant. Absolutely, it's an arrogant belief, which I've also held. Like, if somebody's like, oh, you're not a socialist, well, you clearly didn't understand socialism. I've done it myself. Like, I've
heard it for you.
Aye. But I understand that it is an arrogant
People just have different ways of looking at stuff, and you have to convince them that socialism is the right way forward.
Totally.
That's all you need today. That's it. Just convince them that that's the right way forward.
Totally.
It'll only take you 10 minutes.
I keep ranting. I've not done this for ages, and it's fun to be able to talk about politics. And I've had a few drinks now.
Totally.
So
get off the chatty there, Craig.
Right, so let's actually go on to the fucking news, right? Donald Trump has flip-flopped on climate change.
Doesn't he fucking always? He flip-flops. Sorry, wait a minute. Go through this, because I'm excited to hear this. What's he fucking saying now in climate change?
Well, he used to say that climate change
the Chinese
was the Chinese conspiracy. Now he thinks there's some connectivity
fuck's sake
between humans and climate change.
Right.
So
because of
that, he's saying that he's not going to pull out of the Paris Agreement, which I was informed by Andrew Hodgkinson, who we've had on the Scottish Day Centre, that it might have been harder for him to do that than he initially thought, which may actually be part of the reason why he's flip-flopped on this, because it became international law this month.
Right.
And so it's a flip-flop in that he's saying that he now agrees with climate change, but it might just be him conceding defeat to the fact it's international law.
The same way when he done that interview with... It was some news correspondent or something like that. They done like a live interview on a big network in America, and she was talking about all the kind of racist beatings and shit like that was happening. And did you see that? And he was like, "Stop that, man.
It now.
Stop it now." It was like
No
really unconvincing.
No conviction at all.
Really
and yet, when
unconvincing.
you seen him on Twitter when Obama won in 2012, first of all, he said that fucking Mitt Romney beat Obama by like 2 million votes or whatever.
I mean, seen that,
and that the Electoral College should be gotten ready because that's fucking bullshit.
That's a fucking
and
great
now
point.
Donald Trump is losing to Hillary Clinton, the most corrupt establishment fucking politician in US history, the most hated establishment politician in US history, by 2 million votes. The exact thing that he moaned about Obama doing, which didn't happen, is fucking happening right now when he's like, yes, I'm president. What a fucking massive cock.
I was looking up on the Electoral College. You said you weren't too sure about what you thought about this.
I'm clear now.
Alright, right. Well, I'll tell you my stance on it. I looked up a wee bit on it, and it's basically to kind of because some states are like larger in population than some others. It's basically to kind of cut that out a wee bit, in a sense. So the popular vote doesn't exactly kind of correspond to what's actually happening compared to population. So I think in a sense that works.
How?
Well, because it's cutting away all the fucking dead idiots. I think so. That's what I thought anyway.
Right, so my question is, shouldn't then... The argument is that states are essentially more important than people, in that sense. If they're saying that states voting in a certain way is more important than how many people overall in America vote a certain way. So if they're right, and if one side's right, why would it matter where they were born?
Shit, I never thought about that. Nah, see, you're always in the fucking ball with that. Shit. Where was it? You've stumped me, bitch.
Sorry, bro.
Aye, you always do that, yeah.
But that's a legitimate thing, though, is that if they're saying that it's unfair because these more conservative states have less people, should we not question why conservative states happen to be the less educated?
I thought there was some sort of balance on it, though, as well.
Well,
I heard anyway.
The four more populated states in the world, and in the United States, 2 of them are Democrat, 2 of them are Republican. So, what's the issue?
Aye, sorry. I've been obviously reading the wrong fucking shit. And
it's not as if it's like 70 million voting for Hillary Clinton and 25 million voting for Trump, and then that's the population issue. It's close. It's 2 million votes between the two of them. It's not as if California would decide who the president was. It's nowhere near as bad as that.
So do you think they should just keep the popular vote like the way it is here? Just keep it normal?
But it's not like it is here. It's
Well,
here's a mess as well.
Yeah, totally. Aye, absolutely.
If we went for popular vote here, UKIP would have significantly made MSPs, and Solidarity would have a couple of MSPs, and SNP would have less, and Labour would have more.
So do you think they should go with that? The kind of popular vote system? No. I
think it is. As much as I hate it, and that it would go against what I believe in to have more UKIP MPs, I reckon how many MSPs it would have. But UKIP MPs, people voted for them, and as much as I think they're wrong, it's now my job to convince people that they're wrong, and they shouldn't.
I know it takes 10 minutes to convince people to Solidarity, the party specifically, or just socialism as a whole, really.
Or they just didn't understand socialism. That's
what I'm saying. That's something you would have said in it last year.
Totally.
So we just need to convince them.
I've had problems with calling myself a socialist for a couple of reasons. One,
because they're wrong sometimes.
Well, one, because I didn't ken fully what socialism was, and so I got confused by social democracy and socialism.
Right.
And I'm still kind of like, I feel like some people that call themselves socialists are just social democrats, and maybe my thoughts fully explained would maybe put me in the socialist and the social democrat.
Because there's a few kind of instances that you disagree. It's the kind of the GMO side of things. A lot of socialists are actually conspiracy theorists a lot of the time as well, which I fucking find out.
That's the thing
that fucking scares me to death, man. There's a lot of kind of like kind of socialist Christians, which scares me also a wee bit. That shouldn't scare me, but it fucking does a wee bit.
See, that makes more sense to me than socialists that would be against GMOs, because socialists are meant to be, they claim to be people that want equal rights, and they want people to be able to be fed. But they want to shut
everybody fucking down that says someone out of line.
But what? Then they'll fucking want to ban GMOs because they they're making food less dear. That should be exactly what socialists want. And for socialists to come in and go, oh no, GMOs need to be banned. Fuck off. You're not a fucking socialist then. A socialist won't want GMOs to be banned because GMOs help to feed people, and socialists are meant to be about helping the poor.
Feeding everybody.
So if you claim to be a socialist and want GMOs banned, then no, fucking pick one. You can't be both. That's fucking bullshit.
There you go.
Absolute bullshit.
That's it. Okay, next news.
So we're not actually finished with the first one.
Go.
We're going to be on here for fucking hours if we keep going on these tangents.
Okay, well, I'm going to add in a tune while you're talking, because we're going to be on for a while and I need a pee. So we're going to add a pee tune.
So you want me to stop speaking then?
No, keep going.
Right, we'll finish this one story then. So he's flip-flopped on climate change.
Right.
But the problem is, it's a bit fucking late for that now. Let me just name a couple of people that are in his cabinet or that are donors to him, right? Robert Mercer, computer scientist. He runs a big company about computer science and stuff like that. He donated 15 million to Donald Trump's campaign. I'll go on to why that's funny later on. And this is him on climate change. He's never explicitly said that he doesn't believe in climate change, but he has backed people who deny climate change, and used to subscribe to a newsletter by a guy called Arthur Robinson, who said climate science was a hoax and nuclear radiation can be good for you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So that's Robert Mercer. He's a bit fucking mental.
What a guy. What a legend.
And he donated 15 million, and as a businessman, Donald Trump's going to listen to his donors.
Oh,
again, he doesn't elect it. I'll go into this later. Sheldon Adelson, who does casinos and shit. That's what I've written in here.
Oh no, casino guy. Oh no.
Aye. He donated 100 million. Again, I'll go into why this is hilarious later on. He denies climate change. Stephen Bannon is his chief strategist and senior counsellor.
Oh.
Also linked to the alt-right movement.
Right.
Which is that room of Nazi saluters.
Oh, is that them? Right.
Aye. He's linked to that movement. He was also a writer for Breitbart, who sort of is a hard right website article thing. Sort of.
See, when I hear things like alt right or hard right, it's like, oh fuck's sake! Like,
there's also
excuse me,
a radio show thing where Donald Trump is on with this guy, and this guy's talking about how the Asians are taking over, and that we should get rid of the Asians because they're running.
Too many restaurants.
No, the fucking. He's talking about like Indian Asians.
All right, aye, totally.
The
Southern Asians.
The sort of computer corporations. I can't mind. There's a Silicon Valley. Is that?
Oh,
it?
Silicon Valley. Aye.
Aye. He was talking about Asians in there and how they're like ruining lives and shit.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
There's a full radio thing. It's funny.
Cool. We should air it out and do like a wee commentary on it one day.
Aye. But that's just in case people are like, liar.
Fuck's sake.
Radio. So.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Pence is his VP, who disagrees with climate change. He's also very homophobic. He doesn't agree with evolution. Thinks it's a big.
I love how he doesn't agree with it as well.
Doesn't believe in evolution. He's like, oh, what? Scientific facts.
The poster posted up in an interview. No, an interview. Sorry, like a speech done at the Senate like years ago.
Aye, I've seen this.
Who fucking posted it? Maybe the Young Turks or something like that. Probably something like that. But he was talking about it's just a theory, and we should figure someone else out. So just because you disagree, we should just think of someone else.
Say that though.
Aye. One in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so drunk I was going to mention his name. Let's go.
He wanted to make Ben Carson his Secretary for Education.
He's a fucking planky wood.
He thinks pyramids were grain silos. It's a thing. This guy's a brain surgeon. Actually,
he's obviously somebody's fucking turning his brain away.
This guy's actually a brain surgeon. And apparently a very good brain surgeon. Yeah. And he's good on vaccines. He told Donald Trump in it was for the Republican debates, he was like, look, I'm not going to say too much, but that evidence does suggest that autism has nothing to do with vaccines.
Right.
Just stop.
Right. That's cool.
So he was pretty rational on that, but then he thinks pyramids are green.
It's annoying because you always get somebody that's like got something nice to say, and then you're like, oh no, he's a fucking dopey fuckhead.
Doesn't he believe in evolution? Doesn't he believe in
evolution? Doesn't he believe it?
He's a fucking medical professional. The whole point of modern medicine is falls apart if evolution doesn't exist. Like ridiculous. What was the other fucking ridiculous thing he said? Climate change, evolution, and grain silos. It's hilarious. I don't even understand what the grain silo thing is.
Is it not like the kind of preservation for like seeds and stuff like that? Like for the one they've got, is it Iceland or something like that? They've got shut up. They've got a kind of a seed or a grain preservation place where like loads of different countries, different seeds and crops and stuff like that.
God, that's boring.
Shit, where the fuck was it?
I
was in some cold climate or something like that. It's like underground. It's saved. It's pretty cool. But the point I was making, I am needing a pee. To be fair, the point I was making is that Syria, because it got bombed so much, that they had a few years before that saved loads of seeds and grains in this place, like loads of other countries, and they're the only first place to ask fucking for some of them back, right. Start regrowing crops, which is fucking cool. Quite uninteresting.
Aye. So I'm going to finish this because you really
please do.
Betsy DeVos is going to be his new education secretary, I think. Mm-hmm. And her husband, Dick DeVos, said, I would like to see the ideas of intelligent design that many are now suggesting is a very viable alternative theory, that the theory and others that would be considered credible would expose their students to more ideas, not less. She hasn't said that's ridiculous yet, and she's now going to be the education secretary for Donald Trump. So back onto the climate change. One more person, two more people. Nikki Haley, who's the ambassador to the UN, buried a report from the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources which showed over the next 70 years South Carolina could rise in temperatures by about 9 degrees, triggering disease and loss of habitat for wildlife as well as economic issues. And Myron Ebell overseeing the Environmental Protection Agency transition. Mm-hmm. So the transition of this department from Obama's government to Trump's government is something that fucking denies climate change.
Christ.
Let's go on to the next song.
Let's break the embargo with someone called a priest. That was Break the Embargo with a track called Someone Call a Priest. They've got their new EP out right now, which is called Someone Call a Priest. You can go check that on Bandcamp, breaktheembargo.bandcamp.com. They also have a gig tomorrow night, sort of done by Over the Bridge Events in the Windsor in Kirkcaldy. Other bands performing, doors open at 8 PM. Other bands on are Imani Experience. One of my favourite named bands, I've not heard much about them, but Your Reptilian Masters. Fantastic. Love that fucking name. Panic Attack, Break the Embargo, of course, and Psychotherapy. That's tomorrow night at the Windsor in Kirkcaldy. Boom! Ting. That's quality. Excellent. So, I apologise profusely for my incredibly fucking small bladder. The bladder of an 80-year-old man. That's fucking ridiculous, man. I'm so sorry about that. Had Craig to rush through his fucking news. I was getting into it, and then I was like, oh, shit. Then I started dancing a bit, ready to fucking...
To be fair, at that point, it was just a list
of
people that sort of discredit the fact that Donald Trump's flip-flopped on climate change. It's just...
on multiple shit.
Really, you flip-flopped, you've fucking employed all these people.
Right, so at least with my small bladder, we've added an extra track. Fantastic.
So we've still got news stories, unfortunately.
On you go, man. I'm all cleared out.
The people that were listening a second ago were like, oh, fucking mayor.
Well, the thing is, people actually tune in for the news, which is fucking weird as well.
No, they didn't.
Aye.
That was a lie.
Totally.
This is just for me. I've been posting so much on Facebook because I've not been doing this podcast. Whereas now that I'm doing the podcast again, I could be like, I think I need to put it on Facebook
fucking belting it out.
You just fucking speak. I'm loving this, by the way.
On you go.
The fact that I'm getting to fucking diss Trump. Because a lot of the people that I like, who are like, I'm sort of relatively anti-government, mainly because the government are wrong and what they're doing a lot of the time, which puts me in line with people who are sort of more libertarian than I am. On, like, in the sense that they didn't actually want a government. I want a government, I just think the ones are shit, you know. So I'm put in line with these people that I didn't really agree with, but I agree with just now.
Aye, that's fair.
And a lot of these people are sort of saying that Trump is not great, but the fact that it's not great is not good enough for me. I think he's a fucking bell end. I think he's a total nuisance, right? He's a rascal.
He's a rascal.
He's a fucking pain in the prostate.
Bloody scallywag.
I cannot stand Donald Trump. I can't believe people... Well, I can't believe... stupid.
People don't...
We're stupid as well. We fucking... UKIP have MPs.
Aye. That shouldn't even exist.
Right, so, second news story. It isn't really a news story. This is just fun for me. Because since Donald Trump became president, I'm going to keep saying Prime Minister. Fuck you, right? Since Donald Trump became president, I've not had a chance to speak on this on the podcast.
Right.
Rocky Tirade was just sort of discussing the events that happened, and there was no real news on what he's done yet. But no, there is news on what he's done yet. And this is his flip-flop so far. Bear in mind, he's not actually the president yet.
Let's just put this in perspective right now. When I went up the stair to fix the printer, we thought the printer was fucked. It was fine, we got it fixed. I know it's a list of stuff Craig had written. I didn't realise what it was. It looked like a song. It's like, no longer this, no longer that. And I was like, oh shit, this is maybe like a weird kind of neo-Nazi song or something like that he's maybe got. And I was like, alright. So this is, I'm assuming that's the list.
That's the list.
Right,
it's a pretty extensive list.
It's a pretty fucking extensive list. It's no like a huge kind of multiple A4 piece of paper.
No, but he's not even president yet.
He's not even fucking started his job.
No.
He's already started this shit.
Right.
So let's go through them. We should do a top of the pops countdown. How many is there?
It's so big that you can't just look at it and say, oh, that's 3.
Right.
It's like, you need to count it to count how many are there.
Right, count them. We'll do a top of the pops style countdown for you.
7.
So at 7.
At 7 is a No More Wall.
No More Wall.
Aye. That was on day 1.
Aye, he's moved it to a fence, I think he was saying.
It's a fence now, because he was advised that a wall is unrealistic.
It's ridiculous, aye.
Which he should have fucking known at the beginning.
Too much brickwork, man.
Do you understand how big the border is?
Aye.
And also, let's just cover the fact that most illegal immigrants didn't come over the border. They fly in with visas
Aye.
and simply let their visa expire. The wall's doing shit all.
Some do run past the border, like very
Some,
few, very few. Aye.
but like it was like 60% just fly in legally.
Aye, fuck aye.
So the wall's going to do very fucking little, and there's a deficit on immigrants. There's
Right.
more going out than there is coming in.
I can imagine.
So that's actually a thing that's not covered with the right wing
No.
enough.
Wouldn't be no.
Is that there's more immigrants gone to Mexico than coming in from Mexico. Coming in, not even in America. Bullshit. Anyway, thing two. This is
Sorry. 6. 2 weeks in the charts. Next one.
This is a reference back to what we were talking about earlier. He said he wasn't going to take any donor money.
Right.
At the same time, he said he wasn't going to take a wage for being the president.
Oh, yeah.
Which has went up to $1 now, by the way, so he is going to take a wage.
So he's going to take
So
the wage.
that's
Technically,
a
yes.
flip-flop.
Aye,
But
aye.
we'll see if he only takes $1, because I think taking $1's too much anyway.
I think that'll change soon. I think he's going to...
I reckon he'll take it all.
Oh, fuck aye. I think
I think
eventually
he's
he'll
gonna take
realise
it
that he's getting fucked by
He's not gonna
himself.
He's a fucking multi-billionaire.
It's
You
fucking...
can do the presidency for free.
You seen fucking people that have
This
loads of money?
fucking...
People that have loads of money, remember, are fucking greedy bastards.
This Betsy
Always want
DeVos is now going to be the education secretary. She's a fucking billionaire. She doesn't need a job. She's just doing it because she wants more.
She's fucking
control
greedy as
more
well.
than
She's greedy as fuck.
Anyway, so he said he wasn't going to take any big donations. Sheldon Adelson, 100 million. That's a pretty big donation.
God's sake.
If somebody gave me 100 million, well,
I
that's
can't even comprehend 100 million.
It's roughly 100 million.
Aye, fuck.
There isn't an actual number on it. But
Right,
it's roughly
just-
100
aye.
million. And again, they say Robert, what's the prick's name? Robert Mercer, 15 million. The other guy, Jeffrey Graham, 2 million. So it's not as if it's like Bernie Sanders was getting $27 at a time.
Oh.
It's like fucking millions of dollars he's getting here. Donors, he's going to sell out to donors. It's like he's establishment at this point. No longer against coming into the Paris Agreement. We discussed this earlier.
Aye.
But I think it's more about it being international law now than no longer repealing Obamacare, as he likes some parts of it.
Right.
So he said he's going to get rid of all Obama's executive orders,
Aye.
but that doesn't seem like he's going to happen either.
But he's going to keep half of that.
But he's
one,
going to keep
sort
some Obamacare. Probably means he's going to keep all.
of thing.
He's no longer anti-war, as he's bringing in people who support war with Iran,
Right.
and
Totally,
he wants to take the battle to China because of this trade.
Is he
thing.
fucking psychotic?
There's a trade. No,
Fuck with China, bitch.
a trade war with China,
Alright, totally. Aye.
which could start
That's
a real
fine.
fucking war at the same time.
Aye,
Because
totally.
they're already, America and China are already fucking hacking each other constantly. Like, it's ridiculous. It's pathetic.
Don't fuck with China, Trump.
You didn't fuck with China.
Don't
like,
fuck
they'll
with China. There's too many people there,
they'll
man.
kung fu your ass. That's racist, isn't it? I should have voted for Trump.
I just say there's too many people. You're like, oh, the fucking kung fu your ass.
Eh.
That's so racist. Unbelievable.
No, what they got to cook my chow
They'll
mein.
fucking hack your shit. What? Make you food? No, that's no. We're actually going to order Chinese in a wee while, so
No.
I'm adamant that's happening.
No longer planning on reversing gay marriage Supreme Court ruling. He said that he was going to...
Did he say that at the beginning that he was going to fucking abolish it or something like
He
that?
said that he was seriously
I can't
considering appointing a Supreme Court judge who was going to specifically reverse the Supreme Court ruling on gay marriage.
Alright, shit, right.
But now he's said it's a state issue and it's been resolved. Although he is still going to repeal abortion rights,
Right.
which has been covered by the Supreme Court as well. So he's a bit inconsistent there.
Alright.
It's not like Trump to be
Oh,
inconsistent. is it?
he's a wee bit inconsistent there, you're saying?
Wee bit
just in
inconsistent there.
Right, fair enough, right.
But just a wee bit. And it came out today, or
So
yesterday.
is this number one?
This is number one.
And at number one...
No longer investigating Hillary Clinton.
Oh, I stopped that.
One of his main thing in his debate was, if I become president, you'll be in jail. That's why he
Right.
didn't want me to be
There's no
president.
doing it anywhere.
No, they didn't anywhere.
They done...
Because they're friends! That's why.
He done a Saturday Night Live sketch. Love Saturday Night Live. Watch it all the time. You didn't watch it.
Didn't watch
Didn't
it.
can why you didn't? Because it's fucking
I
brilliant.
didn't understand it. That's why it's quite so.
You are. Anyway, they done a Trump sketch where a lot of Trump's friends were coming into the office, and Trump's just sitting there panicking. It's like, oh god, I'm the president and shit. And then people would come in and be like, hey, so about that war, oh, I can't wait. Like the donors would come in and be like, oh, can't wait till you build that wall. And he's like, well, I said I was building a wall. Alright, fair enough. Then they'll be like, the next one will come and be like, oh, can't wait till you get rid of all the Muslims. It's going to be fantastic.
That's an F-flop that I forgot about.
Oh, for fuck's sake. And at number 1.5.
He said he was asked by a reporter about a database to stop Islamic terrorism, and he was like, yes, we definitely need more systems in place to deal with this sort of thing. And so he was asked to clarify, and he kept clarifying and clarifying, and then the Donald Trump office said, he never said that. Never said anything about
That's
a
like
registry.
on mind to think
Well,
about
he didn't say anything about a registry, he said systems in place. That implies a registry, and then he kept being clarified. He kept being asked to clarify, and he was saying yes to what was being asked. He said, he didn't say the word registry, but that's what he was fucking saying. Like,
Jesus.
They're just
it's like the thick of it, man. Mind on the thick of it when the guy goes out and he said something, and then fucking Malcolm was like, actually, what you need to tell them is that you didn't say that, even though you did say it. And then he was like, but I can't just fucking go and say that. He's like, well, we'll phone them and tell them that you didn't actually say that. But we'll phone them specifically to tell them that you actually didn't. Even though you did.
Aye.
But you
because they'll report it that they didn't.
Because
if they don't, we won't get any more fucking stories.
Exactly. It's fucking
that
amazing.
seems to be just exactly what Donald Trump
and that sounds like a fucking absolute mental
and it works,
thing.
So that's the problem is that it's working. He's like, did he say that? What? There's video of you saying it.
This is one of the things that is much fucking proof that comes out is Donald's a fucking nutcase. Not everybody pays attention as much as we do. Well, you do specifically. But then there's loads of fucking stuff that comes out constantly. Like the fucking sexist stuff, the kind of racist shit that he says all the time. That all comes out and it's fucking openly viewable. Even on fucking worldwide networks like fucking NBC, CBS, they're all fucking showing this stuff. HBO, for fuck's sake, Bill Maher shows all this fucking stuff. The American Bill Maher, not our one, not our Bill Maher. But fucking, they all show...
Bill Maher's better.
Aye. Even fucking, what's the other boy, John Oliver, he does all that stuff. Stephen Colbert and shit like that. They all do these fucking things and then they show you clips of shit he's actually fucking said, but then they still vote for him. You can see, all this stuff's fucking available for you to watch.
But the problem
you didn't pay attention.
But they're sceptical as soon as anything even slightly comes up about Hillary Clinton. It's just, oh no, she's clearly the devil. Like, I can't see shit, but you've just voted in this fucking...
I mean, Hillary Clinton might be the devil, right? But you can imagine, like, Donald Trump's like a weird clown guy.
Donald Trump is the devil's fucking... what was that stupid bastard that used to dance for the king and queens and that? Jester, aye. Donald Trump is the devil's jester. Aye. That's what Donald Trump is. He's equally as evil and he's also fucking stupid.
You'd want the devil before you wanted the fucking dopey fuckhead.
And the problem is, he's got a bachelor's degree in economics. So he's educated, he just doesn't fucking use it.
Well, that was fucking wasted, wasn't it? Aye. Can't run a casino. Couldn't run a casino. Unbelievable. You say this every week.
And he's getting fucking donuts for casino owners. Then he fucking partnered with him. He killed the easiest business. Give me a casino, I'll fucking be a millionaire.
Fucking right, man. Fucking
easily.
Right.
I didn't even need a small loan of 20 million.
No.
Or 200 million as apparently what it ended up being.
We could actually start doing a casino. We'll just use this table and get 4 people in, and then every week we can double the people. Done. Sort it. We'll out Trump, fucking Mr. Trump.
Then we'll campaign to be president of Scotland.
Aye. Probably. And then that'll be denied because it's not real.
So aye. Not even president yet. He's done all these fucking flip-flops. The Electoral College didn't actually vote until December the 19th. And the Electoral College didn't vote until December the 19th. So...
Wait.
Sorry, am I going to explain this now?
Wait a fucking second.
Right.
What was all the shit about the Electoral College?
Right, so the way the system works in the US...
I've missed all this. I fucking read up on it and I missed half it.
Right, so the way this works...
Go on.
Is states vote for who they want to be president. And then whoever wins that state, the Electoral College has to vote for that person. In some states, it's the law for them to vote for that state. So if, say, I reckon any of the Electoral College numbers, but let's just say Michigan has 14 Electoral College votes. I reckon if that's how many votes.
Just whatever.
If Trump won Michigan, which he did, he would get 14 votes for the Electoral College. But some of the time it's not law for them to go with who they voted for. in that state. And 6 electoral college voters have said that they're going to stop Trump being president.
Fucking hell. So
And they didn't vote until December 19th. So the problem is that Hillary's already conceded. So I didn't
that's
ken
not
what
possible.
I didn't ken. I got no idea. But in fairness, the 6 electoral voters are from Colorado and California who already voted for Hillary Clinton.
Aye, totally.
So it doesn't really matter.
Aye,
But
aye.
there is a possibility that even though Trump won,
Aye.
the electoral college can just say nah.
That's fucking mental.
That's just why the electoral college is
Aye.
shit.
Well, I apologise to anybody listening. I fucking total read the wrong shit. Idiot.
So do you,
Fucking idiot for
you
man. I get it now.
understand Right.
Aye. Fuck.
So they vote on the 19th of December, and then
I can't believe that this has been like. It's weird that they've been told to how to vote, and then they could just be like, "Nah, I'm not doing it." Even
it's pointless, isn't it?
It's absolutely fucking mental.
I mean, there are
That's
a
like-
few states where they need to vote.
Me, you, and Spee were talking just in an interview a wee while ago, a wee while back, about the kind of like public voting systems, like for the Sama Awards and stuff like that. We were talking about that a wee while ago. If that was just to like work out that like fucking there was a bunch of judges that just made up, say right, these are the people that are winning. No, sorry, the public votes were to work in the sense that well, these are the guys we want to win, and then the judges are the ones that like decide later that cool, fuck it, these are the guys we want to win, so we just overrule what the fucking public. This is fucking ridiculous, man.
But the Samas is a wee bit different.
It's a wee bit different. I will
Whereas
admit, but
that system doesn't work for that, but it would work for this.
God's
you need
sake.
impartial judges for that
Aye,
kind
totally,
of stuff to work.
For
Whereas
after straight,
this, you just need to go with what the people want is what happens, unfortunately.
That's
Although
it.
saying that, I said on my Facebook post, because I posted about this earlier, about the 6 people, said that the few people shouldn't be able to dismiss what people have said and then vote the other way. And then I was like, but at the same time as saying that, Donald Trump is almost 2 million votes behind Hillary Clinton,
Aye.
which is still rising.
It's still gone.
Aye, there's no finished counting yet.
Is it Alaska still gone? They're still waiting on the shit going
Michigan, still gone.
through? What about Phoenix? Is that done? Yeah.
Arizona's done.
Arizona's done. Oh, sorry, I mixed that up.
WA.
We struggled with these state names and shit.
I
on
reckon
the night.
what the states are that's left. But she's winning by about 2 million.
I'll just shout out a random state when I figure out the WA.
I think it's PA actually. Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania. No, PA.
Maybe PA, I reckon.
It might not be.
Anyway,
You don't
so
know.
there is a chance on December 19th that the electoral vote goes for Hillary.
So that might mean that, and nothing will happen then if she conceded.
I reckon, maybe.
Or could she just be like, oh no, fuck it, I'll no concede.
Aye.
Nah, fuck
I
it.
reckon,
I will
like,
do it. I will do
concede-
the job.
She just said.
Aye, because she just said, oh, well, is the conceding thing, no, just like, thank, well done to Trump sort of thing?
Aye. I don't think there's any like official documents involved.
Aye. It was just,
So I think it's just a case of, I won. Quality, I didn't concede then, fuck you.
Aye.
But then what I'm curious about is,
That's
what
fucking
I've been
ridiculous.
seeing a lot is even for the people I was talking about earlier who are sort of anti-government like me, who I've been aligned with for all these times.
And by the fucking way, no wonder you're anti-fucking government. Because hearing about this fucking electoral college thing just makes me... It's so fucking complicated to actually comprehend the whole fucking thing. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's actually one of the few points that I get out of Scotland. They've
Aye.
actually got a semi-democratic... I mean, it could be improved, I reckon,
Aye.
again, like we were talking about with the...
I do have to admit, like, a lot of politics is fucking absolutely ridiculous and, like, so hard to comprehend. But again, it's made that way.
Well,
So there's only
mind-
very few people that have to fucking think about it.
on the post-referendum podcast we've done with Sean
Aye.
and Ian and Shaggy, I didn't ken what the House of Commons was.
Aye.
Or something like that. I didn't ken.
Oh, you weren't sure? You
ended up
could-
being
could
right
ask what it
in
was.
what I
Aye.
said, but I didn't ken I was right at the time. I was just saying what I thought at the time, and I would end up being right, but I didn't ken. And so I ken now, but it is meant to be complicated purposely so that you didn't get as involved
Ah, exactly.
as
Aye.
you should. And that's just what they do. So Scotland is better, really.
Kill what we fucking need today. What I just thought of there. We need to get somebody who's like completely disengaged with politics and talk to them in the sense that like we could try and get them to understand some stuff.
That'd be interesting.
Somebody that's actually interested and then trying to make the switch from being completely disinterested to even just like slightly interested to getting to the point of like they would like to engage a wee bit.
Aye.
It'd be great to fucking
but
talk to
I feel like a
somebody
lot of the people that are disengaged now just have no interest in trying to get back.
Aye, exactly, like rappers and stuff like that.
Because
really
it is just so... It's the learning curve.
Aye.
Again, part of it is the learning curve.
As I keep
Especially if you used to be a conspiracy theorist.
Aye.
Because that learning curve, that was fucking ridiculous.
Aye.
I tried to get into politics. This is why I made the distinction on when we first interviewed Bill Mayer between conspiracy theorism, which was what I was into, and then real politics after.
Oh, yeah.
I can Bill disagree with me making the distinction, but I disagree with his disagreement. I think there is a big difference, and I think the learning curve between being a conspiracy theorist and just dismissing it as lizard people is much more
destructive
than trying to get into what they're actually doing. I mean, there is shit stuff going on. It's not as if they're wrong about there's what you're saying everything's perfect. No. But you just being like, lizard people is fucking lazy.
I'll tell you what, I'll put up on open fucking invite to anybody that's like I know there's a good few people that are new to the podcast that are listening today. Anybody in that group specifically that don't really take an interest that much in politics, they would like to know a bit more. We can arrange to get a politician to come in and sit and talk with you. Craig knows a bit more. I'm a bit fucking I'm clueless, know a lot of fucking stuff, as you could probably tell. When Craig tries to question me on stuff, I'm like, so it'd be great for us to sit and...
I had a decent go on the electoral college thing. You had an opinion.
Aye. But
we're wrong.
Aye. Whatever. So if me and whoever it was to come in, we could sit on this side. We got a politician and you to kind of explain a lot of stuff.
Do we disagree on anything? We need to find something
Not
we
really.
disagree on.
Not really, man.
We need to find
I agree with violence. You're not into it.
What about hitting Bairns?
Nah.
I'm against that. On the podcast when I thought Dad was about to say that he agrees with violence against children on certain stages, but we seemed to align perfectly. I was like, I don't agree with it at all. It's fucking rubbish. I was like, really, you're old. Like, you're meant to disagree. And then me and Dad were actually talking about his noise and hate racism, but he's prejudices.
Wasn't that you were talking about?
It was his prejudices.
Aye. Was this when we were at the barbecue? The fire.
Aye. He was brought up in a system where it used to be constantly just white working class people, and then he started realising these political issues started happening around the same time as immigrants started coming in, and when you're ignorant, you didn't have the internet and that, you're just going purely with what the media says. Totally. He was admitting these things that it's a different perspective because that's all you see, and I was like, that actually makes sense.
Because we're fucking completely in a bubble of information. He's not there, and there's a lot of fucking people in the world that like that. They don't have this fucking access to information.
And we're closed off to this. We didn't speak to people.
This
is where me and Cars really agree.
Exactly.
Is that didn't just fucking dismiss them for this. Yeah. Speak to them.
This is why I was speaking to that neo-Nazi guy, and I was interested in getting him in, because he's totally out with the fucking bubble. I say a bubble. It is a fucking bubble. We're in a bubble of information available to us. Some people, even with the internet, didn't fucking bother a lot of the time. And I feel like politicians disregard that sometimes. Like, they just forget that people didn't actually have fucking information. They just feel like everybody's politically engaged. Do you not feel like that sometimes?
They bank on you not being politically engaged so that you didn't fucking interfere with what they're...
Because I've heard certain politicians talking, and they're talking about most people think this, and I'm like that, but most people fucking didn't. Most people aren't thinking about anything.
Most of the voters maybe think that, but most people don't vote as well.
Most people didn't fucking think about stuff.
Because they like to talk about it, say, 60 or 7% of the people that are signed up to vote, but that's not everybody.
No.
There's a lot of people that just aren't on the voting register. So there's probably more people that not vote than do vote. So you're hardly fucking appealing to the masses. You're appealing to a small selection. This is why I hate the oh, there's no point in voting thing.
Aye.
It's just, oh, you're fucking letting them get away with it. You're just like, fucking politicians. Oh, brilliant, just let them get away with it and then moan about it.
I seen somebody posting about there's no point in voting one day, and I showed you this before. The guy was talking about there's no point in voting. Voting doesn't fucking change anything. Then he was talking about the week after that about revolution.
Aye.
So I was like, why no, just vote? Like, that can help.
Aye. If everybody that didn't vote voted for somebody,
that's it.
They would totally rearrange the political system, and then politics would either move left or right depending where these non-voters stay. Hopefully the left, but they would just change everything, and they didn't fucking yes.
Where do you stand on mandatory voting?
Again, we spoke about this.
Obviously, we can't make everybody do it, and
you can't. You totally do that.
Aye,
do
but
that in Australia.
But
whether you agree with it, or
is there a fucking is there like a death penalty or something that they do? What do they do to make everybody vote?
Oh no, it's probably just a fine or something.
Aye.
You can't put.
I didn't like that fucking idea as well.
No, I didn't like that idea.
You can't make everybody vote. No. But if everybody was to vote,
I want everybody to vote,
aye,
but I didn't want to force them to vote.
Aye.
I'd like to try it once just to see
what
the
happens,
people that never vote just once.
Because they try to save a few £100 for a fine, so they're just like, nah. You just kind of throw a tick randomly.
But I didn't want to force it. I just want to see what would happen if everybody.
Do you know, I think people would like
vote.
deface. There'd be a lot of defacing of the ballot people.
You would need to put.
But again,
none of the above on it.
But that's the thing as well. I think a lot of people would just fucking vote for somebody randomly because they've just been asked to go in. So they're just like, meh, like that, there. I think a lot of people would do that.
Or a protest vote to vote for somebody that nobody wants.
Have you ever been asked to vote for like a music vote thing? There's like you have to vote for like a hip hop act. For instance, for me, right, there's a hip hop act in this certain award ceremony thing. There'll be a hip hop act, then like a new venue, a new fucking heavy metal band and stuff like that. Because to get the vote through, you have to vote for the hip hop act, then you have to vote for the next one. I've fucking just clicked whatever I've seen. It was a terrible, absolutely fucking terrible thing, and I shouldn't be doing it. But just to get this fucking hip hop act through, I've just went bang, 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 bang. Next one.
There is.
Is there a chance of that?
I think it would be a big enough number to be significant.
Nah. Oh, I definitely didn't think that would be possible.
But I didn't want mandatory voting because then it'd
be a fucking shitstorm.
I would rather put in the work to get people interested in politics and fail than make it mandatory for them to vote, and then them being uneducated voters. Uneducated voter is the worst kind of voter. I'd rather you just didn't vote.
Aye.
A lot of people would totally disagree and say, "Oh, it doesn't matter, just use your rights."
Aye.
No, if you're uneducated, then fucking vote. Because you're going to. There's people who align themselves in a certain way. There's guaranteed people that vote Tories that believe in welfare and believe in things that Tories didn't believe in, but it's just because they've been brought up to vote Tory, or they're used to people voting Tory, or they've had it shoved in their face that Tories are the best ones. Same with Labour, same as we say the SNP.
Tories, this used to be a big Tory area. I was hearing a good fucking bunch of years ago.
Again, Kaz. I keep going back to Kaz. Kaz for ages.
Because Kaz is your fucking arch nemesis. That's what you should just fucking openly say it. You fucking hate Kaz. You want to stab him in the fucking mouth.
Me and Kaz hate each other politically. We are total opposites.
He's the fucking arch nemesis, and because we know Kaz, because we agree on certain things, we're quite pal with him in a sense.
Aye.
Could like free speech and stuff like that. I've got a big thing with free speech. We like
love free speech
because I like comedians and stuff like that. I kind of feel like we fucking need free speech.
Aye.
A lot of the kind of left disagree with free speech a lot of the fucking time, which fucking scares me to death. But because I like comedy and I like people being able to fucking say what they think, I absolutely completely fine with a racist holding a fucking a wee meeting and or a fucking a big council building shouting at people saying, "I hate the black people." Absolutely fine with that happening as long as I get to fucking diss it. Because this podcast thrives. Fucking hell, strives.
Idiot. Stupid
idiot.
fucking cunt.
Fucking, I'll just leave them now.
Gander. Gander respect, you prick.
This podcast thrives on fucking idiots.
Aye.
This is how we run our lives. So we kind of need that to happen.
I want offensive speech to be allowed because I want to be offensive.
I want to go and fucking see one. Is there anything happening?
I want to be able to
stupid?
say that God doesn't exist and you need to fucking grow up.
Is there a like a like against evolution meeting happening? So
Creationist meetings. Oh man,
I'd love to go to one of them. That'd be fucking brilliant.
I'd love to go to one of them.
Or a racist.
I want to
meeting.
get a
How do you get any
creationist.
racists?
I wanted to. Really?
Not really.
I can do anything.
I can people in the orange, the orange man shite.
Aye.
But I don't think like any like direct racists.
Grandad was a bit racist, wasn't he?
Oh, he was a bit not. That's again. He was a bit racist.
He was old man racist.
He was old man racist.
Like sort of
I want
didn't
a
hear all the
fucking
information. You want somebody that's
I want a fucking pale, sick looking 30
like proper bald.
like a proper bald fucking guy that's like got a big tattoo of like bum fights at the top of the head, and he's like just no bum fights. Black people, I hate them. I want to kill them all. Somebody like that, and he's got like a bull ring in his nose,
a swastika on his face.
a swastika on his fucking face. Aye, exactly.
Niggers die on his chest.
Totally. I want to fucking go to a meeting with just loads of them, like just 20 or 30 of them.
Nah, you get killed,
and just hear them talking.
I reckon
no, I'd sit in the back,
shiting
quietly
the
laughing.
I wouldn't laugh in the if they
No,
find
no,
me,
quietly.
they will stab you to death.
Just laughing on the inside. I
Right.
want to see what they're fucking saying.
No,
It's hilarious to me.
I wouldn't go to that because I know for a fact that I couldn't shut my puss.
Nah.
I would.
Let's be honest, Craig. Yes, you can.
No. Like when it's people that say things that I slightly disagree with, I'm like, cool. I'm socially anxious. No way I want to speak in this situation. But people would just be like constantly lying. I reckon it would annoy me enough where I'd be like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. And then I'll get stabbed to death by racists. And I'm not into that at all. I'd rather hear one here than I could debate them one-on-one.
I find racism
fucking stupid. And it makes no sense.
It's just a waste of time. I don't even think about racism. It's like it just doesn't make any sense to me. So like to see a bunch of people that are like genuinely just like
let's think about what racism actually is. It's I've got a darker skin, therefore I'm a cunt.
Aye.
What? That doesn't even. There's no. What the fuck are you talking about?
It doesn't cross my mind. Like just for these people, just sit there and think, you black skinned, oft. That's rough.
Aye.
It just fucking confuses me to why people are doing that. So just to hear them talk, I want a fucking round table thing created in here.
They'll hear us speaking about this and they'll say, "Why you're saying no black person has ever been a dick?" No, there's probably fucking millions of black people that are dicks.
You're a fucking dick.
There's probably millions of black people that are dicks.
Right.
But I'm not saying that there's no dickish black people.
No.
But you're saying that they're all dickish black people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue. I'm not fucking. There's going to be dicks in every single race, guaranteed.
Exactly.
There's millions of dicks.
Usually the racist ones are the dicks.
Aye.
It's unfortunate, but that's
although
what it
at the same time, the idea that black people can't be racist is also fucking bullshit.
Oh yeah, stupid. Aye,
like it's just racism is simply a belief that all people of that race contain the same characteristics as everybody else.
Exactly.
To say that you can't be racist because you're black is equally as stupid as saying all black people are dicks or whatever.
Exactly.
So do you want to go on to the next news story?
Is it the last one?
No.
You got a few
Second
more?
last.
Alright, cool, that's fine.
Thomas Mayer, speaking of racism.
Oh, Bill Mayer, related? No,
no. Related. I did want to tag him and say
Alright.
this is unfortunate.
I'll tag him in then, it's fine.
But unfortunate for you, Bill. Thomas Mayer has been given life in prison for murdering Joe Cox. Joe Cox being the Labour MP.
Alright.
Her crime was being a fucking bitch and helping people.
Right.
She supported the refugees. She was against racism.
Shit, I heard about this.
Like
I never actually read up on it.
The Britain Force member is shot and stabbed her for political reasons because she was being a fucking bitch and helping people. As I said, fucking whore. Just helping bairns and that.
Oh.
Can't be arsed.
Fuck's sake.
So he's got life in prison. Question is though, is he a terrorist?
For killing a politician that believes shit's
that
cool.
Children shouldn't be left to drown because they're brown.
I believe in a sense that he kind of is. You want more?
Aye.
He's killed somebody like in a kind of shitty way, like an establishment person. That's what I think anyway.
I agree. I think he definitely is a terrorist.
You fucking looked at me like I was like saying idiotic shit. Is it well done to you? Actually, I was fucking because I was worried as I was saying it. I was like, "Am I wrong?"
Aye, he's 100% a terrorist. Terrorism is the use of violence or intimidation for political effect, and that's exactly what he done. And
Good.
the fact
I felt fucking weird, even though you were right.
The fact the media are refusing the word terrorist because he's not.
Oh, they
brown.
fucking no saying anything.
No, he's not a terrorist. He's just a dick. That's
because he's white.
Because he's white.
Because he's white.
And he's not got a turban. He's not got a turban, so he's no
fucking hell
terrorist.
So they just dismissing the IRA and shit like that for now on as well. So
Well, it seems to be more bombs. They want terrorists to be using bombs, but you're just refusing the word terrorism there, aren't you? Let's just use definitions. So aye, that's that done. You think he's a terrorist?
Right, if you can go for the story. I'm needing a pee again. This is unbelievable.
Oh no, I wanted your opinion on this.
Right,
I'll explain the story. You came about this. I sent you the article. Right. It's about the serial killer.
You talk about it. I'll be quick as fuck.
It's about the serial killer. So.
I'll be right back.
Right, so let's get on to the page 1 because this has been printed in a weird fashion. Right, so Stephen Port is a serial killer. He went on some dating apps like Grindr. He's gay. He went on some dating apps like Grindr. They said things like Grindr. I reckon whatever apps he was using. He essentially found 4 boys and killed them. Serial killer Stephen Porter, who has been found guilty of murdering 4 young men, duped police for over a year as he committed his killing spree. He secretly drugged his victims, whom he found through dating apps, to indulge in a fetish for sex with unconscious men and then dumped their bodies yards from his flat. Now this is exciting enough as it's an active serial killer in the news in the UK, which doesn't happen very often, and as a person with an interest in serial killers, it's pretty exciting. Quite in it. I'm interested in that sort of shit. It's weird, but it's fun. Fuck you. So he's 41 years old. He was convicted at London's Old Bailey of 22 offences against 11 men, including the 4 murders. The 4 men were Anthony Walgate, Gabriel Cavari, Daniel Whitworth and Jack Taylor, all of whom were applied by Port with fatal doses of the date rape drug GHB. I'm essentially just reading an article here. It took Metropolitan Police 15 months to link the men's deaths and catch their killer. Right, so this is where my fucking issue comes in, right?
You go through your angles and you might agree with me.
Stephen's back, by the way, in case you didn't get
Aye.
Yeah, I'm speaking. So I'm wanting to find the first one, but these are all mixed up.
Right.
So I reckon what's what?
Are we back to front? Like the first page will be the last one.
That's the last page, I I really should have just wrote notes instead of fucking printing the page.
6.5 minutes to go through this.
Basically, the first person that he killed was a guy that was at university who was also sort of moonlighting as an escort thing. And they dumped him outside his flat and then phoned the fucking police and was like, oh, this guy's collapsed. The police then found out that he was lying, never charged him,
right,
and just sort of went about their day, kidding that he had fucking done this.
Did he no contact like the whole 4 of them via the same means as well?
It was like dating apps.
Grindr, I'm assuming.
They said like Grindr, but I reckon what their dating apps
probably
would be.
Grindr.
The Grindr was definitely involved. But the problem is that the second and third guys he killed, he got one of the guys, he wrote a note on one of the guys and made it look like a suicide and said that I killed my friend, this guy, and it definitely wasn't the guy.
Right. Don't blame
the guy I was with last night. And the police were like, alright then. Alright then.
They're like, fair enough.
They just was like, written. So it wasn't him. That's the first place you look. That's the first place you look. He's already been caught for lying about a guy dying outside his fucking house, who's an escort. And then suddenly this air escort dies, and he's like, it wasn't him, it wasn't that guy. Fucking, and they believed him. It took them 15 months. It took them 15 months to find this guy. That is fucking insane. The police should be fucking ashamed of themselves.
That is terrible. Where was that about again? Sorry?
London, somewhere.
London, aye. Oh, Scotland Yard, I heard, aye, Scotland Yard.
London's Old Bailey is where he was sentenced.
Right. It's an unbelievable fuck up. Like multiple fuck ups as well.
Aye.
It's like, do you know buried the same 3 people in the same area?
Aye, it was like
there was 2 people buried in the exact same place.
They weren't buried, they were just left.
Oh, just left?
Aye.
There was 2 people left in the same place and one just like a few yards away.
Aye.
In the same cemetery, basically.
Was that in a cemetery?
It was in a cemetery, aye, beside a church, sort of
fucking thing. Oh, man. As a guy who's interested in serial killers, you've had people like the Zodiac Killer who's fucked with the police and there was nobody to catch him because he's been smart, right? People like BTK who cleaned up after his cell and he got lucky because there was no DNA testing. So, fair enough. But then Ted Bundy and stuff like that, these intelligent serial killers who got away with it because we're intelligent. This guy got away with it in the UK. This fucking stupid cunt. Fucking Jesus, wow.
That's amazing.
Any serial killers, any aspiring serial killers out there, come to the UK, you'll get away with it. If you spend 2 days researching how to get away with murder, you'll be fucking fine. You'll never get caught because this fucking turd. Fucking Jesus Christ.
It's an interesting look in. I'll put a link to this, actually, the whole article. It's an interesting read. Just to see where exactly they fucked up and just to check the whole thing out. It's fucking brilliant. If you can send me a link to the article, I'll add it on the end of here.
Neighbour.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're about to end. We're nearly reaching 3 hours, which is fucking unbelievable for the first time to do this. I didn't think we were going to last that long. So what I will say is we'll go through the kind of usual list of what I do at the end of the podcasts. We have we have 1 weekly podcast on a Thursday. I'm going to be changing that. Which is live on a Thursday night. Could reach 3 hours, could be just 1 hour. We'll fucking find it. So that's every Thursday. If you go to speaker.com/user/BTN podcast, give us a follow. It's quite easy to do. You can sign up through Facebook, I think, as well. So really fucking easy to do. Go check that out. Follow our website, btnpodcast.weebly.com. Check for Besides the Norm on YouTube. Like and subscribe if you can. Like a few videos, subscribe to us. We've got kind of new YouTube stuff. We've not got time to talk about it, unfortunately. But go and do that if possible. Loads of good challenges up there. Challenges where almost death occurred in those few instances. Go to Facebook, Besides the Norm Podcast. You can find us on there on Facebooks. At BTN Pod on Twitter. And you could also, as Craig keeps saying, send us hate mail every fucking time you see that.
Never been sent any hate mail. It's weird because we're fucking shit.
We rarely get emails from people just like unsolicited unless we've like emailed people before.
Facebook, why do they need
exactly.
email addresses are useless.
Sorry about that. Besides the Norm at gmail.com. Fantastic. Sorry, slightly dying. So we've covered all that. That's perfect. We're going to end, as Speaker tells me, time is running out. We're going to end with one of my favourite tracks I've heard this week. A band called VUKOVI, which we played before. We played a track called Animal a few weeks ago. This track is called La Di Da.
And you're probably not going to get to hear it all.
No, you will. You've got plenty of time.
Right.
This track's called La Di Da by VUKOVI. So thanks very much for tuning in, people.
Good night.
Peace.
Godspeed.
Love me, you wanna leave, you wanna stay, but told everyone.